gear, let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. Step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Well, the clock just struck the hour of 6 on this Tuesday, the 7th of January, as we welcome you. The best of morning to you on your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, on SABC3. We're live, large, and in charge with me, Kataka Maboy. Guthle Adams standing alongside. My lady, how are you?
Man, I'm all good, thank you. How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent. Second day on the job today.
Second day on the job in 2020, and my head is painful.
Really?
I changed my hair, Kat. You didn't realize it.
Of course you did. Of course you changed your hair. I knew that. I knew. How long did that take, by the way?
6 hours. Sitting on my behind for 6 hours. I had 3 different ladies pulling from all different directions.
Wow.
So,
but the final product's worth it. It looks amazing.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely amazing.
You know, with the pleasure comes the pain.
With the pleasure comes the pain.
Hey, I'm looking good,
I thought it was the other way around. But okay, listen. Today on the show, we are all about kickstarting our healthy habits for 2020. So we want to know, how are you going about it? Do you have any New Year's health resolutions that you want to implement? And if so, how are you going to go about doing that? Maybe you want to share some of your top tips with us. We'd love to learn from you. Maybe we could use some of those tips. How about you? Have you started on any of these health tips or health resolutions?
I mean, yesterday after our conversation about how much I misbehaved in terms of my diet in December, you know, so this year I've always committed to going to the gym, but I've never really pitched.
Yeah?
So I'm just going to commit to the kitchen and eating healthier and drinking more water.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a good way of going about it, because last year in October, everyone was doing hashtag October.
Yes.
And I did this hashtag H2O October.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, where I was like, I'll drink 1 cup of coffee a day, and then the rest of the time just water, nothing else.
Yeah.
Which it was hectic. It was a bit harsh, but what it did is that it focused my mind on being healthier in general. So the more water I drank, I found that I made more informed choices when it came to what I was eating. So I think this year for 2020, what I want to do is just generally drink more water. So I'm not going to restrict, let's say, how many cups of coffee I drink a day, but just focus on drinking more water. Hopefully everything else will fall into place. But we would love to hear from you. How are you going about those health resolutions for 2020? Share it with us. Expresso Morning Show SABC3 is where you can find us on Facebook, and at Expresso Show is where we are on Twitter and on Instagram as well. And as always, hashtag Expresso Show. I wonder do you think Tubbsy is doing something health-wise?
Tubbs is always doing something. He was talking about going back to the gym, so I just need to...
Really?
Yes. dress.
Okay, Uncle
that true,
Tabsy,
Tabs?
Jamie Lee, what are you guys doing?
Well, that's not a lie. Resolutions are all over the place. I already started with mine yesterday. I am back at the gym, Jamie Lee.
Are you?
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing now.
We said we're going to start together.
Well, I started before
Okay,
you.
I'm
You
very
always
proud
have
of
to
you.
have a bit of a step ahead sometimes, ahead of everybody else. Good morning. How you
Good
doing?
morning. Goeiemôre, hoe gaan dit?
Goed, dank jezelf.
dankie,
Jy lyk baie nice vandag.
Dit is baie neutral. Ons
Ja.
gaan daaroor praat. Nee, jy gaan nie Afrikaans praat nie. We're going to speak about it a bit later.
We're gonna
I'm
chat
very
about it
neutral,
later.
but yeah.
Yeah, but you look nice.
sexy.
Your face looks absolutely amazing. You are bringing it. And hopefully, if you are getting yourself ready out there, you want to know what the weather's looking like. Let's take a look at the temperatures in those most major parts of the country that'll hopefully influence what you look like today. Your face, yes, one, but also the way that you look in terms of your clothes. We start off out in Johannesburg. We take a look at the temperatures there. Intervals of clouds and sunshine are expected with delightful temperatures ranging between 18 and 28 degrees. Still very much summertime out there. Enjoy the break from the rain, Josie.
Absolutely. Now moving over to Durban, very humid conditions is expected with low cloud cover and a light northeasterly wind for the entire day. Now rain does continue from tomorrow onwards, so maybe just enjoy that weather today in Durban.
And if you happen to be in the friendly city, Port Elizabeth, this one is for you. A couple of morning showers are expected with cloudy and humid conditions. So that continues, and a strong thunderstorm is also expected in the evening as well. So be prepared for the rain. Have your umbrella on standby, have your raincoat on standby as well, PE.
Absolutely. Now, if you're in the mother city, it seems to be heating up, bringing all the flames. Now, temperatures are warm and occasional sunshine can be expected. Clear skies are also expected towards the evening with a southerly wind, which is amazing. So we need that heat, you know. It's
We
nice
need the
to have
skies to
that
be
summer
clear.
day.
We need it to be nice, yeah?
Sunset vibe.
Well,
just
speaking
living
of
it.
sunset vibes, your outfit today, you're asking people to help you out this morning.
Absolutely. I feel like it's the second day of work, so I'm still kind of like, there's so many options to wear. So I have two amazing
I'll take
options.
that for you.
There we go. Thank you so much. And I'm going to grab this over here. So you at home is going to help me decide what to wear today.
Okay.
I have this red little dress, nice and flowy.
Yeah.
Very cute, summery vibes, loving the color, bold and out there.
Yeah.
And we've had something like this last year, so this is a safe dress for me.
Yeah.
Very safe, flowy, I love the material, very breathable.
Yeah.
And then also have this nice pink one, and then there the earring
Losing
goes.
your earrings.
You know, all part of the process. And then this pink one is quite nice as well. Very flowy, also very light as well. Nice summer. So you at home is going to help me choose between the red or the pink one. So you're going to head on over to the social media and choose which one. Help me out, because the sister needs some help this morning, you
Think
know.
about your options, Jamie Lee, and I'll say this, and this will hopefully help the people out there when they're trying to choose which outfit to choose. Because your bright colors work for you really, really well. They really complement you. They work so amazing. But the nice thing about either one of these dresses is that they work really amazing in the summer, which is absolutely fantastic because it is a bit of a warm day out here in Cape Town.
Hello.
Jamie Lee's going to need to be able to breathe. So do head on over to Expresso Morning Show SABC 3 and make your pick. Is it the pink one that Jamie Lee must rock today, or is it this? Is this orange? Burnt orange?
Like burnt orange,
slightly
reddy,
burnt
like
orange option.
tangerine.
And both of them are available at Woolies, and you can shop them online or in store. My outfit this morning,
talk
I've
about
kept it
it.
simple. It's
Classic.
about simplicity, classic but simple. So I've got on a pair of formal trousers, a golf t-shirt just to break the formality a little bit so that it's not too uptight and not too formal. And I've broken the colors down by having on a very light blue jacket on. So you've got a navy blue for pants, and then you've got a nice light one at the top to complement the white golf t-shirt.
And you know what I love about this is that you can always just remove the blazer, and then you're like summer ready.
Are you
Pop
asking
on
me to
some
remove the
sneakers.
blazer, Jamie Lee?
No, I'm not.
Is
because
that what you are asking?
No, because you look perfect just like this, and even a nice pair of sandals. You know those Jesus sandals?
Yes.
I love that. You know, it's like a breathable Jesus sandal. So
that's it. So you
maybe
can
we
play
do
with
that.
it
Play
and make
play
it your
around with it.
own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe take photos and show us what you're looking like today while you're getting ready. But in the meantime, Kat, what's happening over there?
Well, there's a lot happening. You'll see that I'm standing next to the very lovely Nicole Snelling, our Expresso food stylist. And we were having a bit of a debate right now before I tell you what's going to be happening in the kitchen. Looking at those tea dresses that Jamie Lee's holding. The one that isn't pink looked red. I don't know if it's because I was looking at the screen or my eyes are just fooling me. You were saying?
Orange, definitely like a burnt orange.
No, it's red. Are we going to have one of those debates? No, we're not. The question to what is cooking in the kitchen today, Nicole has decided to revive a childhood memory of mine. We're going to be making homemade frosted cereal. It's not even a Thursday, but you're throwing me all the way back to when I was a child. There was this brand of cereal that had this tiger as its logo, and he always used to say, "They're great." Because
This is better.
I love
Much
it.
better for you.
Yeah, because they're healthier.
Definitely, because it's the all brand that we're making it with, and it doesn't contain as much sugar. So you can see these ones are a nice honey glaze.
Wow.
And it's super awesome for packing for lunch, yogurts. You can have it with milk. You
Yes.
can have it as a snack as is. Or, yeah.
Maybe that's
super
exactly
easy.
what you need to pack for the kids. How long does it take to make?
I would say about 10 to 15 minutes, yeah. It's literally just the cooking time of the sugar, and that's about it.
Okay, well, we're going to be doing that soon, so you can SMS the keyword Clover to 33728. We'll send you the recipe to your phone, and then if you have some of these ingredients around at home, rustle them up, and then by the time we actually get to making them, you can make them 15 minutes, quicker, and then you pack it for lunch for the kids today. Good to see you again, Nicole. And I don't know, I did say Happy New Year to you, but
Yes, you
officially,
did. You
on
did.
cam,
Thank
just
you.
so it's on record.
Oh, it's going to be so yum out there. We're bringing it back to the beauty room because we're getting ourselves ready to slay the day on the screen, to slay for the television. We've got Bernice, our resident makeup artist here, sorting Kuhle out with a makeup look. Bernice, every single morning I've always found when I step into the beauty room, you're always working on something and you focus on a specific area for the ladies, sometimes for us a little bit just, correcting some spots over there. But for the ladies, you always have a focal point. Sometimes it's the eyes that you're trying to highlight. Sometimes it's the cheeks that you're trying to bring out. What are you doing today with Kuhle?
So today we're actually matching her outfit. It's like nice and light, a summer look. So it's all pink. If you close your eyes, you can see
Oh, yes.
pink coming through.
Bouncing off the t-shirt.
So I'm
or
just
the shirt.
finishing it off with a subtle pink, and then just it's actually all Sir John from
Oh,
Woolies.
nice.
So
Sir John
then-
Volume 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then also just a tint lip gloss.
Oh, that's
Yes.
fantastic. So
make
is
it
it
pop.
Yeah, to make it
Yes.
pop. Is
Yeah.
it important for you, Kuhle, that your eyes and your lips match the outfit, that they're not too off and too contrasting? Is that
I
something
mean,
you do?
sometimes it's very important to match it up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to match, but it needs to complement one another.
Ah.
So it's different shades of pink from my eyes to my lips down to here. And what I really enjoy about this Sir John color
Yeah.
is that it complements different skin tones.
Oh, yes.
So
That's
that's the
perfect,
most
yeah.
important thing, especially when it comes to women of color and also ranging. She can wear it, I can wear it. It's a perfect balance.
So any woman can go out there and get it. That's fantastic, but that's also beauty without cruelty, and you get that really only at Woolworths. So go shop Sir John Volume 2 or any of Woolies' range of products that are available. There is really absolutely something for everyone. I can't wait to see what your lips look like complementing your skirt, baby girl, a bit later on.
Okay, well, let's connect with you quickly on social media. Of course, you can find us on Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 on Facebook. At Expresso Show is where we are at on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, wherever you are communicating with us, hashtag Expresso Show. So today we want to know how creative you can be with creating a caption. Take a look at this. Oh. I didn't know they were going to use this photo. Okay, so can you create your best caption for this photo? Just in case you're wondering, I'm just holding a cabbage. That's all I'm doing. It's a cabbage. It's a big one, but because I'm standing so far back and there, the focus is kind of like crushed, it makes it look very small. It's weird. This was supposed to be a fun photo that was never supposed to make it onto the interwebs, but now it's there. So please create a caption and let's see how creative you can be. In the meantime, let's get you updated on the morning's headlines.
Thank you very much, Kat. Let's take a first look at those news headlines. All eyes are on the national results for the matric class of 2019, which will be announced today. Individual results will be available at schools from tomorrow. And the Minister of Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation, Lindiwe Sisulu, says that the severe drought in the Eastern Cape needs urgent government intervention. She travelled to some of the area's worst hit areas, such as Butterworth, Makanda and Pedi, where she said taps had literally run dry. In international headlines, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says that troops have been deployed in Libya after the Turkish parliament approved the move last week. He said their mission was to ensure stability for the UN-backed government of National Accord in Tripoli. And huge crowds yesterday morning packed the streets of the Iranian capital, Tehran, for the funeral of Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani, who was assassinated in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq on Friday on the orders of U.S. President Donald Trump. And finally, Newlands this weekend paid tribute to one of its most colourful characters, Buta Kasim, who has been selling ice creams at the cricket grounds for 55 years. Kasim, well known at the ground for his quirky comments, is again hard at work in the ongoing test between South Africa and England at the famous Old Ground. He has been selling ice creams at Newlands for 55 years. Buta Kasim, we salute your legend, a post from the ground's official Twitter account read. Kasim also featured on the big screen at Newlands over the weekend, where it was said that he considered retiring only to make an about turn. As it read on the big screen, Cape Town has said no, and fortunately, the friendly Newlands legend won't go quite yet. And that's where we leave it for now. Here's Kat with a look at your sports.
Thanks very much, Uncle Tabs. You're right on the button. Let's pick things up with what's happening at Newlands, where the Proteas have set up an exciting final day of the second test against England at the Newlands Cricket Ground after the visitors declared on 391 for 8. South Africa now require 312 runs to win from 90 overs. In footballing action, reigning PSL champions Mamelodi Sundowns will look to extend their unbeaten run in the competition when they take on Bidvest Wits at Loftus Versfeld this evening. Now, Arsenal claimed a 1-0 win over Leeds United in the third round of the FA Cup at the Emirates Stadium last night, and the Gunners will now advance to the fourth round of the competition. And finally, in tennis news, Kevin Anderson and Lloyd Harris helped South Africa to a first win at the inaugural ATP Cup in Brisbane, Australia yesterday. Anderson beat Christian Garant 6-love, 6-3, and Harris beat Nicholas Jarry 6-4, 6-4. Congratulations, boys. Well, that's it for the sports headlines. We'll have a look at a fuller bulletin at the top of the hour right now. Here's your weather.
In order for you to have a feel-good morning, you need to know how to dress for the occasion. Let's have a more extensive look at the weather this morning. But first, we have asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Our regular photographer, Ndokozo Makatini, sent us this sunrise from Johannesburg, where delightful temperatures can be expected with occasional sunshine reaching a maximum of 28 degrees. Thank you so much, Ndokozo, for that picture. Samuel Jacobs sent us this amazing sunrise from Beaufort West in the Western Cape, where partly sunny conditions are expected with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm reaching a maximum of 24 degrees. Make sure to have those rain jackets out. Thank you so much for those pictures. Keep them going, keep them flowing on social media. Let's have a look at the rest of the country, starting off with Polokwane. It's a partly cloudy day at Polokwane with a maximum of 30 degrees and a minimum of 16. High humidity for Mbombela at 31 and a low of 18. Pretoria, 20-30. Northeasterly wind of 13 kilometers an hour in Johannesburg with a low of 18 and a high of 28 degrees. Mahikeng, temperatures ranging from 20 reaching a peak of 31 degrees. And in Klerksdorp, it's 20-29. Thunderstorms expected for Kimberley with a minimum of 19 reaching a maximum of 25 degrees. And in Bloemfontein, 17-26. And the highest temperature in the country is in Richards Bay with a maximum of 34 degrees and a minimum of 22 degrees. Make sure to have your sunscreens out. It's going to be a hot one. Pietermaritzburg, 20-29. Durban, 24-29. A couple of showers for Mthatha with a minimum of 19 reaching a max of 24. Heavy rainfall for East London at a low of 21 and a high of 24. Klerksdorp peaks at 28 this morning with a low of 18 degrees. And Port Elizabeth, the Free City, 20-24. Heavy rainfall for George, 19-24. And Sutherland, a maximum of 22 with a low of 13 degrees. Cape Town, the mother city, partly cloudy day with a minimum of 18 reaching a maximum of 27 degrees. Thunderstorms expected for Worcester at a low of 16 peaking at 27. And the lowest temperature in the country is in Springbok with a minimum of 12 degrees reaching a maximum of 31 degrees. Cover up before the sun comes out a little later on. Northeasterly wind of 20 kilometers an hour in Uppington with a maximum of 30 and a low of 22 degrees. Wherever you are, whatever the weather, make sure to have yourselves an incredible morning.
Oh, man. Be sure to make it a good time. Cover up. Just cover up.
Anyway, while Uncle Tubbsy sorts out his gym membership as he
I haven't sorted it. I'm not sorting it out.
But that's what Kutle said. Kutle said that you've already sorted it out. You started.
I'm there. I can feel my six pack.
You got a personal trainer and everything?
I've got that.
That's incredible. That is commitment to the cause. Cannot wait to see what Uncle Tubbsy's summer body is going to look like.
I'll show you.
Next summer. Anyway, let's get you started off on with a motivational quote of the day.
A positive one.
A very positive one coming from Albert Einstein himself, one of the most celebrated scientists of the 12th century, rather. A physicist, a man who's known for his wisdom, came up with the theory of relativity, E is equal to MC
squared.
There we go. And apparently he felt quite rejected by the education system of the time, and he spoke quite frequently about it. And he had this to say once. He said, learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Always be curious. Stay questioning.
An inquisitive mind.
Yeah?
That's always questioning.
Keep asking the questions.
Yeah,
like how will Tubbsy actually make it through day 2
Saw it coming.
at the gym?
Saw it coming.
Do you know what I mean? Stay questioning.
Channel, bro. Can we do it real quick?
Oh.
Well, how long do
Oh, tech news. Can we have an extra chair for tech news, please?
So we will do so. 4, 3, 2.
Ugandan police yesterday arrested singer turned Ugandan police yesterday arrested singer-turned-politician Bobi Wine and sprayed tear gas to disperse his supporters as he sought to kick off public meetings ahead of presidential elections next year. Wine, a popular figure among young Ugandans, announced last year he would challenge President Yoweri Museveni in the 2021 elections. Wine, whose real name is Robert Kyagulanyi, has already been detained a number of times. He's had numerous attempts to hold concerts blocked since he was elected as an MP in 2017. Meanwhile, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says troops have been deployed in Libya after the Turkish parliament approved the move last week. He said their mission was to ensure stability for the UN-backed government of national accord in Tripoli. The Libyan government is fighting an insurgency by rebel forces under General Khalifa Haftar. Haftar is backed by Egypt and the UAE, while the UN-backed government is supported by Turkey and Qatar. Haftar earlier said a national war was now being fueled by Turkey's president, whom he referred to as a deranged Turkish sultan. Now, huge crowds yesterday morning packed the streets of the Iranian capital of Tehran for the funeral of Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani was assassinated in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq on Friday on the orders of President Donald Trump. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei led prayers and vowed severe revenge for the death of Soleimani. On Sunday, he pulled out of the 2015 nuclear accord, and Trump repeated a threat to target Iranian cultural sites, saying the U.S. would, quote, strike very fast and very hard if Tehran attacked U.S. assets. And finally, the Harbin International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival in China held its opening ceremony this weekend amid fireworks and celebrations. And it's again a dazzling, spectacular event. The annual festival is one of the largest ice and snow festivals in the world. A mind-boggling 220,000 cubic meters of ice and snow were used to build the ice world. Visitors are treated to a towering frozen ice palace and even an ice steam train. Now, apart from gigantic ice structures, the festival includes activities such as sledging, ice hockey, ice football, speed skating and alpine skiing competitions. A highlight of Sorry, dude, it's very difficult to get, you know what I mean?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, live on SABC3. If you're only joining us, you've come at the perfect time. You've also chosen to wake up on the right side of bed. It's a brand new day. It's a Tuesday, but it's also a brand new year, a whole new year. So much excitement, so much positivity, and so much to look forward to as far as tech is concerned. Every single year, there seem to be words, buzzwords that pique our attention, that lead the trend and the trail throughout the year.
Absolutely.
And this year, Brian Smith joins us this morning to talk about 3 of those that we need to be on the lookout for. Brian, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You know, it's a new year, it's new innovations, technological things.
Advancements,
exactly. We're going to start off with an acronym that a lot of people might know from the top of their head. VUI. What is that?
Awesome. So user interface, I think people might know that acronym, or UI, essentially know the interface in which we interact with hardware products or software menus, be it on our smartphones or our desktop computers, for example. If you think about it, it's becoming increasingly easier for developers, programmers to create really simple interfaces if you consider how easy it is to use something like Facebook or Instagram.
Yes.
VUI takes us in a slightly different direction, as its name might imply, it stands for voice user interface. And if you consider...
Like Siri.
Absolutely. If you consider in the past couple of years, we've seen a huge rise in the sort of presence of digital assistants like Siri, Google Assistant, the ones that you can find on your Alexa, that you can find on your smart speaker. And increasingly, voice is becoming a far more powerful way to interact with not only our products at home, our hardware products, but also the internet to receive information and to plan our day. And essentially, what we'll largely see this year is the next evolution of voice assistants and being able to interact with our daily lives and be able to handle all the same queries that we might right now have to type or input through a smartphone, through touch, directly input through our voice.
Yeah.
So perhaps changing senses slightly, then is, what computer vision is. What is computer vision, and how's it going to change the way that we interact with technology?
If you consider at the moment when we use our hardware products, it's largely on input based. It's in the sense that you'll have to sort of input a number of commands perhaps, or number of instructions, or help a computer understand exactly what it is you're looking at when you're working at all the way from a text document, perhaps if you're a digital effects editor and you're working in the high-powered video in suites on your computer. But if you consider, computers don't really have a great history of understanding visual objects. They can't see without extra hardware like human beings can. Computer vision is the science of enabling computers to see through IP cameras, through normal cameras, and essentially it helps computers understand and recognize objects in the real world and process those objects far more quickly than a human being can. And that's useful all the way from sorting through different items to helping to research and understand, perhaps on a dig site in archaeological terms. It has a range of uses, and helping computers understand our world helps us work through what we need to do that much more quickly.
That is incredible. I mean, when you hear things about Siri and that the visual, what's this processing? Yeah, it's like it's so far away, but then it's easily accessible, but we never really know about them on
these things on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Lastly, the one question that I want to ask, we hear a lot about automation. What exactly is hyper-automation, and also what does the year hold for that aspect of technology?
I think for many people, automation is a slightly scary concept because almost like 100 to 200 years ago during the Industrial Revolution, people feared losing their jobs to machinery. Now we fear losing our jobs to artificial intelligences and computer programs. If you consider automation as essentially the automatic running of a task being able to carry out itself, be it on a computer or hardware machine, for example, hyper-automation is automating entire systems at once. So that's not just, say, automating a conveyor belt in a factory, that's automating the entire factory, from connecting different devices to the internet to creating different sort of runtimes that can achieve different functions at the end of the day. Hyper-automation is the next step in sort of connecting different workflows together. And that's going to be really fascinating because that's going to transform an entire bunch of industries, change careers as well, and will change the way that we enter and think about the workplace and what we do in the workplace.
I love it. I love it. Well, Brian Smith, thank you so much. This is absolutely fantastic, and you're getting us really excited about the tech year ahead.
It's going to be a big year.
These are the tech terms that are going to be shaping our year ahead. Have you seen any interesting stories? Do share them with us on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. And of course, if you want to keep up with what Brian gets up to, go on bandwidthblog.com.
Well, I tell you, in terms of tech, there'll be a lot of matriculant learners who are logged onto their phones today because the results of the matric examinations are being released, at least for the private schools today, and then for the rest of the country's schools tomorrow. So as you can imagine, there'll be a lot of emotion going through their minds and their hearts, and especially families who'll be there to try and support them through this, I guess, traumatic experience. Whether you're successful or not, it is bound to be traumatic. And so that's why this morning we've asked our very favorite Ms. Kim Abrams, family therapist and registered social worker, to join us to help us deal with that emotion of disappointment should things not go that way. That's what we're focusing on today, and we'd love to hear from you as well. So hit us up on social media and let us know. Maybe you have some certain coping strategies that you've employed that have helped you go along very well with that. So let's first, Kim, start off by understanding the mix of emotions that is involved during that experience of disappointment. I'm sure that expectation versus reality is one of them, the clash between that.
Absolutely. So, you know, we can even think as adults, when you don't kind of get your goal, you don't achieve your goal, or something happens that you weren't expecting to happen, you feel really downtrodden. You feel as though your self-esteem is just in the gutter. So, you know, and children are not immune from experiencing the same emotions. And they don't have the kind of life skills and coping strategies that we learn as adults to be able to deal with their disappointment. So, you know, kids really suffer from really low self-esteem, and their self-confidence, you know, just it's really negatively impacted.
I like that you mentioned that, because it's like looking at yourself in the mirror and then questioning whether, am I worthy? Does this mean I'm unworthy of the world, or the work that I've put in over the past 12 years? Does it all mean nothing? I wanted to go and study medicine, but I didn't get the right mark in this particular subject, or even worse than that. So that is a true, I think it's a hard-hitting thing. So when we try and then find the positivity in disappointment, can anything positive be learned from disappointment?
Absolutely. I think this is where children can really learn resilience. So, you know, disappointment is part of life, and I think parents often want to save their children from it, and not experience, you know, all the kind of emotions that goes with it. But children have to go through it, and they have to learn to build up their resilience. So it's a tough one, you know, when you have a goal, or, you know, you want to go to a certain college, or you didn't pass matric. These are things that are going to impact children, and we need to be supportive for them. So let's speak about the parental role then. From an external point of view, as a parent, how can you help your child deal with disappointment in a positive way? So it's easier said than done, but try not to rescue them from this. They need to go through the motions. So
stand by and watch. How?
You don't have to kind of just do it in silence, but what you need to do is try to open a dialogue with them, allow them to talk. Try your best to avoid statements like, don't worry, everything will be okay, or don't, you know, just leave it, we'll try again. Get your child to talk about their feelings, and then also try to encourage them in what they think they can do better next time. So it's about solution-focused communication. Because that allows your child to then rely on their own internal tools to learn how to deal with life's disappointments, as opposed to leaning on you as a parent to rescue them from it. So there's a fine balance between wanting to save them, wanting to appease them, and also just letting them go through it. It's a life experience they have to go through, and if we think of as ourselves as adults, we don't always get what we want. Solution finding, I think that's brilliant advice over there. So then from an internal perspective, if we were to speak to the children now and to say to them, this is how you then develop those tools that you need to have for later on in life, taking this situation right now and carving those tools out. What do you do from an internal perspective? How do you deal with disappointment in a positive way? So it's really about naming your feelings, being able to say, I'm feeling really disappointed, I'm feeling really sad, because with disappointment comes a whole host of feelings, sometimes anger. The most important thing to remember from an internal perspective is that there's no such thing as a bad emotion, there's no such thing as a bad feeling. Every feeling is valid and every feeling needs to be felt, but it's what your child does with that feeling that will teach them how to build resilience as they become adults. So encourage the expression of the emotion, so name it, but also then, like I said before, encourage your child to think about why are they feeling that way. So you're feeling angry. I'm feeling sad. Why? Because the results didn't turn out the way that I wanted them to turn out. But why does that make you sad? And then then they need to name it. They have to name it, because through naming it, you kind of lessen the negative effect that the disappointment has on the child. Brilliant advice. Kim Abrams, we're going to ask you to stay with us for a little while longer. And to those of you who are receiving their results today, we wish you all of the best. And remember that, yes, positivity can be drawn from disappointment, especially at this very vital time in your lives. But if you have any questions regarding this topic, do hit us up on Expresso Morning Show SABC3. That's our Facebook page. We'd love to connect with you.
Oh, it's so true. Positivity can be found from disappointment. You look at the year behind us, 2019. You look at the year we're stepping into now, 2020. You look at all those disappointing things from last year. You look at how you're going to change them this year. We make resolutions, guys. Gutle, have you got your New Year's resolutions?
My New Year's resolutions right now is literally career-based. It's for me to continue working on myself, learning from you guys. You know, you have years of experience, so it's just for me to... So it's just for me to learn from you and grow in
Yeah.
this particular field in my career.
Stunning. Sis Princess.
Sis, what is that?
Yeah, 18. What's your New Year's resolution?
To start eating healthy.
Yes.
Drinking
Yes.
lots of water.
Yes.
Yes.
And stop drinking what?
Yes. Water.
Tell me, so what are yours?
No. Mine is really just more health conscious. So eat clean, eat better, but also hit the gym and be committed to that. I really want to start this and see it through all the way to the end. But, you know, enough about our resolutions. While you think about yours, let's get some coffee. Have you prepared something for me? A cappuccino.
And the sugar, no, stop sugar.
No. There's no sugar in here, right?
Okay.
There is no sugar, right?
Yes.
So
Perfect,
mine
thank
has
you.
the hazelnut syrup.
Yeah.
Is that the equivalent to sugar, or is it a better alternative?
It's a better alternative. We'll see after this.
A taste loved by those who have tried it. McAfee, great coffee, simple. See you after the break.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, on SABC3 Live, large and in charge on this Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for starting the day off with us. Now, in case you haven't been catching up on all the cricketing action, the Proteas are still in the hunt to win their second test against the 2019 Cricket World Cup winning England side, as their test at Newlands Cricket Ground will enter the fifth and final day today. Now, South Africa require 312 runs from 90 overs to win, so the big question, can the Proteas go all the way and win yet another test against England? Well, cricket writer Khalid Muhyiddin shares his views on what we can expect from the final day. And very, very nicely poised. I think when it comes to test cricket, this is the kind of tension you want to see on the last day, Khalid.
Yeah, it's been an amazing test. I mean, from start to finish, it was all about the wicket, talking about the wicket and how this wicket is going to play out.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard in the press conferences the English talking about that crack outside off that they had to target. We have to see. I mean, I think Cape Town's the only place where you have overhead conditions and the wicket gets flatter. So we know, in other countries where you have to see it's normally flat when the sun comes out. So like we have to see how someone like Peter Malan, homeboy, how he performs. And if he can go on to score that milestone 100, we never know what can happen.
That'll be absolutely incredible. He's been looking, I want to say solid, but there were a couple of balls that he left outside of off stump that had me feeling very jittery yesterday. But just in overall, from a team perspective, we're 2 wickets down now, 8 wickets in hand, 312 to chase in 90 overs. What do you think are the actual realistic chances of the Proteas pulling this through into a victory?
So we had Jacques Ellis in the press conference yesterday that spoke about it, and he says that it is possible on this wicket, flat wicket, that it is possible to be able to chase it down, but it all depends on performance and mental stability and how these guys actually perform from a mental perspective and how they stand there. And if they can bring a few partnerships together, luckily Maharaj is in there, so maybe he can take some of those runs away. He's a very good batter actually in domestic level. So we'll have to see how Peter actually goes ahead and scores those runs. I mean, it's all about that. It's realistic from a point of view that it is a batting wicket. It is quite flat. So the chances are maybe we can pull off that 438 once again. I mean, you know that lucky number, so hopefully South Africa can do it.
A test record, man. There was a lot of questions, as I heard the commentators throw around, about the use of the new ball when it became available, that Faf didn't take it immediately, and how that might have contributed to the strong English batting performance that actually ended up with them scoring the runs that they did. But in terms of Faf's strategy for today, what do you think it should be?
Well, at first I think they just need to go ahead and just be calm at the crease. and just take it one over at a time, one ball at a time.
There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. I think the pressure on Pieter Malan is more than just getting us close to that target. I think it's about him cementing that spot in the top of the order. I think Faf just needs to be able to score as much runs as he can before lunch and see where the team is from there, and then strategize and change accordingly. If they see they're in touching distance, go after it.
Yeah.
We don't want another situation when we're sitting at the crease and we're blocking out towards the end and we have 7 runs and needs to chase. I mean, like, that's not what ideal. So it's all about partnerships at the end of the day, and who can actually put that type of attacking spirit into the side.
Yeah. I must say that right now, looking at the Proteas structure with Mark Boucher as head coach, you've got Charles Langeveld and you've got Jacques Callis as batting and bowling coaches over there. There's something exciting about it for me because it's almost as if I'm looking at the heyday of when I was a massive, massive cricket fan and player at the same time when these guys were at the height of their career, and now they've taken, you know, members of that team and that era and they've now implanted them into the top structures. What do you think of these legends in these positions, and then what do you think they can achieve?
So for me personally, from my opinion, I think that these appointments are not about necessarily technical skill.
Yeah.
So by the time you get to the Proteas, technically you should be strong already. But from a mental point of view, and that winning mentality that Boucher and obviously Callis, Graham Smith is director, but Charles Langeveld, possibly the best death bowler that we've ever had in this country. So the skills that they have are skills that were lacking in the Proteas setup for the last two or so years. So I think from a mental perspective, I think that's the strength that they're going to add value to. Obviously, Callis, we've seen him in the nets with KP, obviously batting, Keegan Peterson. So we've seen him with the youngsters, actually coaching them and teaching them some techniques and stuff. So all of that obviously adds to it. But yeah, from a mental point of view, I think that's the key.
Yeah, with 2 tests remaining here after, one at St. George's Park and the other at Wanderers, the Bullring, how do you think the Proteas will fare against the World Cup winning champions?
So Test cricket is a different ball game. We saw that in the first Test at Centurion. We beat them with quite a hefty 107-run win.
Yeah.
I think the Proteas have a massive chance of actually resurrecting their cricket. I think we need it more than England at the moment. I mean, with regards to everything that's happening in South African cricket across domestic level as well as international level, the win is a little bit more sweeter for us. We need it more to basically revive our cricket and show the fans. And obviously I have a Cricket Fanatics magazine, which is all about the fans. I speak to the fans a lot, and they've spoken about how much this will do to the fans. The fans, at the end of the day, are the main aspect of this, why we play this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. And then finally, on the side note, do you say Manus Labuschagne or Labuschagne?
I will say Labuschagne, but I mean, he wants to go with Labuschagne, so let's just leave it.
Thanks so much, Khalid, for joining us this morning. Looking forward to an action-packed day, the 5th and final day at Newlands Cricket Ground, with Pieter Malan and Keshav Maharaj stepping up to the crease for the Proteas, chasing 312 in 90 overs. Come on, boys. Let's take it across the line.
Now, from the sports ground to the beauty room, of course, this morning we asked you, what should I wear today? Now, I came in neutrals and we wanted to go with either the orange or the pink. Now, you had a lot to say on social media. What were some people saying what I should wear today?
Like, Jane, tell me, you felt like you've been on the bench for the first part of the morning. You're ready to get dressed now.
I was chilling.
So Chantal Crystal says, I love both for her, but the orange dress more. She can rock a pink duke with it. Do you have a pink duke?
I don't have a pink duke, but next time definitely we'll bring the duke with, because you know I love my turban. And then on Tlala, Precious said both will look good on her, but let's go with orange today.
Ooh, everyone is favouring the orange, because also Annette is saying orange will suit her as she is a ray of sunshine. That is so
I love
adorable.
you, Annette. I promise I did not pay her to say that. And then Hannes Kukamura said orange with her stunning golden jewellery will make her natural beauty shine like the sun. Oh, why is everyone so nice today?
This is so nice.
Is this
I feel like this is your family or friends, or you DM'd people to be nice.
Hallo Kukamura, familie van daar, van buitekant. And maybe add an extra gold armband and the look would be super fab. So we've heard you, we've heard the choices, and it looks like orange is the new black. So we are going to go with the orange dress. So I am going to fit into the orange dress today, and maybe then just add a little belt just to sink the waist.
To sink the waist.
And so thank you so much for helping me decide today. Pink and orange, and you have spoken. Orange is the winner.
Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beautiful people. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, live on SABC3. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up on the right side of bed. We've just discovered 3 terms that are going to be shaping our year in tech. But now, it's time for us to take a look towards an entire new decade. We're starting a whole new one. Joining us once again is our friend in tech, Brian Smith, to explore what could be our most fundamental changes as far as technology is concerned in the next 10 years. That's exciting, Brian.
Absolutely. We're at the frontier of some really, really amazing things.
And I mean, it's going to move really fast as well from here on, right?
Absolutely.
We'll start off with a term that's thrown around a lot in like science fiction movies, but it has world-changing potential and consequences. So, quantum physics. No, it's a quantum physics. Quantum computing. Quantum computing. What exactly is it? Because when I hear quantum, I think down, Belleville.
We're not going to Belleville.
It does have a very South African twist to it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, no, it's nothing to do with taxis.
Thanks for clarifying that. Or physics.
It is faster, however, so there is the connotation. So quantum computing, if you consider in our daily lives we're used to classical computing or classical machines, and that doesn't necessarily mean old technology, it means the technology we're used to using in every single day. Computers at the moment are informed by binary, so everything that you do from sending a tweet to watching a YouTube video is actually informed at the root level by binary code, so that's ones and zeros. And if you consider that's essentially 2 different states, right? So you have a 1 or a 0. Quantum computing essentially, instead of operating in 2 different states, is able to operate in both simultaneously. Instead of using transistors, which computers normally have, classical computers normally have, it instead runs on qubits, which can process that kind of information, given its property, that much more quickly. So we have a computer system that can process not just 1 or 2 different scenarios at a time, but multitudes of different scenarios, realities. It can actually piece together entirely different equations that would normally take a classical computer around to almost 1,000 years to compute. It can do it in the theoretical 200 seconds. So this is essentially the next step in computing. It's looking at how we can look at different algorithms, equations that much more quickly. It'll revolutionize security, and especially it's going to be really useful for different research applications and finding out cures for different ailments or problems the world around that much more quickly.
It's fascinating, and it sounds like a whole new world altogether. But what real-life examples of quantum computing can you give, and how are they going to change our lives in the immediate sort of real-life, everyday experience?
So quantum computing at the moment is still in its relative infancy compared to what we can do with classical computing. However, some really, and perhaps timely considering world events at the moment that's going on, is using the idea of quantum computing to work out different scenarios with the goal of curbing climate change. Whereas a classical computer could maybe work out the equation of what the root benefit would be, for example, of having everyone recycle. A quantum computer would be capable of looking at an entire scenario at once and factoring in how can we change, for example, transport options, how can we change our energy mix when it comes to power production, what would the net impact of recycling be, all at once to compute and essentially give us a better overview of how a different scenario might pan out with hundreds of different factors at play. And that's the power of quantum computing versus that of a classical computer.
Wow.
It's absolutely fascinating, but it's just a lot to comprehend, for someone who's not really technologically inclined. But with that said, what are real-world examples when it comes to quantum computing that are there and has been already achieved?
So there's sort of a space race going on at the moment between some of the major technology corporations around the world to develop what's going to be the most advanced and most powerful quantum computer. What's really interesting is that given that classical computers, for example, are really advanced, we've had them on the market for a long time, quantum computers haven't yet caught up. And the term for when quantum computing will overtake the power of classical computing is called quantum supremacy. Now, that's not the title of a James Bond film, that's a huge major advent, and it's actually one that Google claims to have reached last year. Google's developing its own quantum computer, which they have claimed will essentially produce the result of an equation in 200 seconds that would take a classical computer around 1,000 years or more. So the net benefit here is that computer companies around the world are attempting to build these quantum computers. It's going to be the next step in sort of decision-making and scenario planning, and essentially within the next 10 years, we will see this technology come to the fore and hopefully be a huge help help to us in our everyday lives.
Well, this is incredible because this sort of technology you're talking about that's coming through in the next 10 years is not going to only change the way that we do business, it's going to change the way that we live our everyday lives, making everything so much more convenient, so much more accessible to everyone. And this is fantastic. Thank you so much. Once again, Brian Smith. And of course, you can read so much more about the world of tech and what's coming up in the next 10 years on bandwidthblog.com. When it comes to tech, the future really is exciting.
Well, while we focus on what's coming up in the next 10 years, let's quickly focus on the now, especially with the focus on our matriculants who will be receiving their results today and tomorrow. And that's why earlier on we invited family therapist and registered social worker Kim Abrams to talk to us about how to handle disappointment in a positive kind of way. And we talked about very many strategies that can be employed in order to do that. And I want to just quickly focus for a moment because this is a very important topic. In a broader sense, talking about how handling disappointment or the way in which you deal with disappointment, how that can impact your future.
So the way that we deal with disappointment is usually a coping strategy that you learn when you're a child. So you primarily adopt the strategies that your caregivers use, and then you internalize that and you think, okay, that's what I'm going to do, because you learn what you live. But as you become older, and if you haven't learned ways to express your emotions in a healthy way, you can often, if you think of an adult that you know who often takes out their feelings on other people when they don't get their way, that's usually something that children can be kind of predisposed to if they're not taught really healthy ways to kind of express their feelings and to go through the motions. So it has a ripple effect on your relationships, on your self-esteem, and also just the way that you kind of achieve goals in life. You know, life it is a journey, it's a cliche, but it's true, and you have to go through the motions, you have to go through disappointment, because it often allows you to go through a new experience that could actually be better for you.
Yeah, very true. And I think it's worth saying that though this may seem like the most important day in your life, believe me, there will be tougher challenges to come in the future. So the way in which you deal with this, whether it's in a good result, you've got all the distinctions you've ever wanted, how you deal with the achievement of that, or the disappointment that maybe you didn't pass well enough to get entry into university that you wanted might want to go to. Dealing with this will determine a lot about your future. So earlier on we spoke about the importance of being able to name those emotions and allowing yourself to go through them, which is the healthy way of dealing with disappointment. What are the don'ts? What are the unhealthy ways of dealing with it?
So the big don't is don't dismiss it. So it's really important to feel the feeling and don't fight the feeling. So if you're feeling disappointed, if you're feeling angry about it, that's okay. Go through that, because the minute you start suppressing it and you start shutting it down and saying, it's fine, you know, other people have it worse, or, you know, it doesn't matter, you really kind of minimize the experience that you're going through, and that's not helpful. Sometimes we think it's helpful to say, it's okay, you know, never mind. But actually, it's important to think, I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, and it's okay. So what can I do better next time? Perhaps setting new goals for myself, because like you said earlier, there are going to be new disappointments in life. Life is unpredictable, and this isn't, you know, if you haven't passed your matric results or you haven't gotten into the institution that you want to, it's really not the end of the world. Perhaps there is something better out there for you to achieve, and that's a nice way to kind of think about it when you're setting new goals for yourself.
And for parents who are now helping their children deal with this disappointment, I mean, I don't want parents out there to feel bad like they are in the wrong by wanting to protect their children, because I'm sure it's a natural parental instinct, but do allow them to go through it.
Absolutely. Try your best, like I said earlier, to not rescue them from it. Let them talk about their emotions. Also, try not to feed into the negative feelings that they have about themselves. So, you know, if your child's saying, you know, I really didn't do very well, and then you go ahead and say, you really didn't do very well.
Don't do that.
Don't do that, because that's the last thing your child needs. Even though there might be actually truth in that, perhaps your child didn't work very hard and they know that, but you're not going to help them to do better by making them feel worse about it. So just be very mindful as a parent that you kind of zip your lip and let them talk, and then say to them, well, what do you think we can do differently?
Let's
It's
set
what we
new
can do
goals.
differently, yeah. Not necessarily you, but we, because they are still children, they're still young, and they need to learn, and they're going to learn through you as a parent.
Yeah, and great to know that they have your support there through every step
Exactly.
of the way. Kim, thank you very much.
Oh,
great
you're
to have you
welcome.
back with us again, and Happy New Year to you.
You too,
Some
thank you.
fantastic advice, and
Yeah.
to you as a matric learner, and to you as a parent or a caregiver of a student out there. Good luck during the next 2 days. It's going to be a very exciting time in whichever way you look at it. And if you are looking for more assistance in the conversation that we had, you can visit Kim on her website, kimabrams.com. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Hey, 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 hey. Said no, no. Yo, this audio cue has never looked so skewed. Yeah. All right, here we go. Am I picking it up from a highlight? Yeah.
Stand by, silence on set, please. Let's go for it. Let's go, let's go.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, mate.
5, 4, 3, 2.
A highlight of the festival was a snow-themed group wedding ceremony in which some 40 couples were married this year. And should you wish to attend, you can still do so until the 25th of February. Just make sure to take an extra coat with you. On that note, that's where we end the global headlines right here on the Africa Channels.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you. Hey, there's that tune again, the first time in 2020. Welcome to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. Time for us to celebrate your birthday, because every single day, millions of people out there, they celebrate their birthdays. We take a moment out of our morning here on the show to shine the spotlight on you and celebrate yours. So who's celebrating their birthday this morning?
First
a whole
up-
list of people.
Oh, it's a whole list. Ooh, Sebatane, happy 36th birthday to you. Wish you many more years of wisdom, happiness, and good health. Enjoy your day and be blessed from Peladi, Hlapogadi, Moramadi, and Mahlako. Happy birthday to you.
Birthday, Sebatani. Here's one, 12th birthday. Happy birthday to Leonie Lowe. Lots of love. This is from your mum, Ginny, dad, Etienne, as well as Granny Magda, Lodine, Anyaka, and Johan Ellis. They absolutely love you. Happy birthday to you. And here's another one. Happy birthday to my daughter, Aranka, Krige, Anraka Kriege. May you be blessed with many more wonderful years. Enjoy your day to the fullest. We love you so much from your family and the Stefals as well.
Happy birthday to you.
Here's another one. This one is for Tasha, and it says here, you've grown into such a great young man whose talent and skills surpass his age. You are a true blessing in our lives, and you make each day better than the last. We love you more than you know. Happy 15th birthday. This is to you, big boy. Love from your mum, Tasha, Amandas, and baby sister, Tashmika. This one is for you, Tashan.
And this one is for...
Kutla's going to laugh at me about that surname the whole morning. But this one is a big one. Happy 60th birthday to Iris. It says
Iris,
happy
happy
birthday to you, Mom, Iris. May this day bring much joy and happiness. This is with your family behind you, your grandkids loving you and showing you all of this love on this day. And this is with love from your daughter, Yasmin, and the rest of the family. Happy birthday, Iris. It's a
Happy
big one.
60th birthday, Iris. This one is for Kayleen. Happy birthday, Kaylin. I hope you have a super awesome day with many blessings. Remember that you are truly loved more than words can say. Be great today and forever from Auntie Tasha. Happy birthday to you,
Birthday. Keanu, 15 today. Happy 15th birthday to my son, Keanu Dreyer. I'm very proud of the person that you're becoming. Enjoy your day. I love you very much. This is from your mom, Rowena, your dad, Mikhail, as well as your aunt, Romelia.
And lastly, but not least, happy birthday to my beautiful sister, Sissy. May God bless you more. I love you so much, Sissy. From your baby sister, Priya. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, happy birthday. Well, listen, if it is your birthday today, happy birthday from all of us here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. But of course, if you know anyone celebrating their birthday, you want to show them some love on the television, why don't you do that? Send us an email. It's birthdays@kadova.tv with a picture, of course, and the details of the person celebrating their birthday. But you also can send us a 15-second video as well, right?
Please.
We love those. Get those through to us. Our WhatsApp number is 071-640-6551. We're always on standby for those 10 to 15-second long videos. Sing them something. Give them a nice message to wish them a very happy birthday. But from all of us here, happy birthday. Mwah.
Happy birthday indeed. The time is just before 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at those news headlines. Now, all eyes are on the national results for the matric class of 2019, which will be announced today, while individual results will be available at the schools tomorrow. This after the Council for Quality Assurance in Education approved the 2019 matric examination results for release. Now, over 600,000 full-time learners and more than 100,000 part-time candidates sat for the examinations, which is 40,000 fewer than the previous year. All SABC African Languages radio stations, Lotus and SAFM, as well as SABC One and SABC News channels will broadcast the results from 6 p.m. So good luck to everyone. The Minister of Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation, Lindiwe Sisulu, says the severe drought in the Eastern Cape needs urgent government intervention. Sisulu visited the province with the Deputy David Malobo. He is said to assess the situation, which said has deteriorated. The two held meetings with Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane in an attempt to try and find solutions to overcome dire water shortages. Now, Sisulu travelled to some of the worst hit areas such as Butterworth, Makanda and Pedi, where she said taps had literally run dry. And on the international front, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says troops have been deployed in Libya after the Turkish parliament approved the move last week. He said the mission was to ensure stability for the UN-backed government of national accord in Tripoli. The Libyan government is fighting an insurgency by rebel forces under General Khalifa Haftar. Now, Haftar is backed by Egypt and the UAE, while the UN-backed government is supported by Turkey and Qatar. Haftar also earlier said a national war was now being fueled by Turkey's president, whom he referred to as a deranged Turkish sultan. And huge crowds yesterday morning packed the streets of the Iranian capital, Tehran, for the funeral of Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani was assassinated in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq on Friday on the orders of President Donald Trump. Now, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, led prayers and vowed severe revenge for the death of Soleimani. On Sunday, he pulled out of the 2015 nuclear accord, and Trump repeated a threat to target Iranian culture sites, saying the U.S. would strike very fast and very hard if Iran attacked U.S. assets. And then finally, the Harbin International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival in China held its opening ceremony this weekend amid fireworks and celebrations, and it's again a dazzling, spectacular event. Now, the annual festival is one of the largest ice and snow festivals in the world. A mind-boggling 220,000 cubic meters of ice and snow were used to build the ice world. Now, visitors are treated to a towering frozen ice palace and even an ice steam train, rather. Now, apart from gigantic ice structures, the festival includes activities such as sledging, ice hockey, ice football, speed skating, and alpine skiing competitions. Now, a highlight of the festival was a snow-themed group wedding ceremony in which some 40 couples were married this year. Hello! And should you wish to attend, you can do so until the 25th of February. And that's where you leave your news for the morning. Let's take a look at the world of sports.
Very Very cool story there, Jamie Lee. But let's pick up the sporting headlines with cricketing news, where the Proteas have set up an exciting final day of the second test against England at Newlands Cricket Ground after the visitors declared on 391 for 8. South Africa now require 312 runs to win from 90 overs. The hosts lost 2 wickets and ended the day on 126 runs, with Pieter Malan reaching 63 not out. And the final day of the second test between South Africa and England will continue from 10 a.m. today. In football news, reigning PSL champions Mamelodi Sundowns will look to extend their unbeaten run in the competition when they take on Bidvest Wits at Loftus Versfeld this evening. Sundowns currently sit in second place on the standings, only 4 points behind leaders Kaizer Chiefs. Other PSL fixtures this evening will see Polokwane City host Orlando Pirates and Stellenbosch FC take on Bloemfontein Celtic. All 3 matches will kick off at 7:30 p.m. Now, Arsenal claimed a 1-0 win over Leeds United in the third round of the FA Cup at the Emirates Stadium last night. Leeds failed to find the equaliser after Arsenal forward Reece Nelson hit the back of the net in the 57th minute to secure the win for his team. The Gunners have now progressed to the 4th round of the competition. And finally, Kevin Anderson and Lloyd Harris helped South Africa to a first win at the inaugural ATP Cup in Brisbane, Australia yesterday. Anderson, who has been out with injury, took part in his first tournament after 7 months and powered past Christian Garin from Chile 6-love, 6-3. The 22-year-old Harris beat Chile's Nicholas Jarry 6-4, 6-4. And to them we say very, very big congratulations. Well, that's where we leave the sports for now. Right now, let's take a look at the traffic.
It's 3 minutes past 7. It's time for us to have the first look at what's happening on the roads. And starting off in Melrose, Gauteng, there has been an accident on the M1 northbound before Glenhove Road. Traffic is backed up and delays are expected. Please be patient on the roads this morning. Ekhayelitsha in the Western Cape on the N2 outbound, there's a stationary truck before the R300 turn-off obstructing the left lane. Delays can be expected. Please keep a lookout for this. Metro Rail Northern Line, there is an extended travel time of approximately 60 minutes on the Wellington line due to current infrastructure conditions and sets out of service. So be on the lookout for that. That's your 7 o'clock traffic roundup. Right now, Tabsy has your weather.
Thank you very much, Lady Kuhle. Now, we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Thank you so much for heeding that call. James Turner, he sent us this beautiful sunrise picture from Durban, where today mainly cloudy conditions can be expected with high humidity and little to no wind. It will reach a maximum of 29 degrees. Jean Smith also sent us this spectacular sunrise picture from Brakpan out in Gauteng, where partly sunny conditions can be expected with delightful temperatures reaching a maximum of 28 degrees. Such beautiful pictures. You can also get yours through to us on our Facebook page. It's Expresso Morning Show SABC3. And now we take a look at those temperatures across the country, starting off in Polokwane, 16. That's your low today, reaching a high of 30, with high humidity expected for Mbombela, a low of 18, reaching a high of 31. The capital city, Pretoria, 20. That's your minimum, reaching a maximum of 30, with a northeasterly wind going at 13 kilometers per hour. That's for Johannesburg, 18, reaching a high of 28. Times of sun and clouds for Mahikeng, 20. That's where you start off, reaching a high of 31, with thunder showers expected out in Klerksdorp today, 20, reaching a maximum of 29 degrees. If you're out in Kimberley, thunder showers for you today, 19, that's your low, reaching a high of 25, with some thunder showers for Bloemfontein as well, 17, reaching a high of 26. If you're out in Richards Bay, well, you've got the highest temperatures in the country today, 22, that's your minimum, reaching a maximum of 34, with rainy times out in Pietermaritzburg today, 20, reaching a max of 29. Durban, South Africa's Playground, 24, that's your low, reaching a high of 29, with a couple of showers expected out in Mthatha, 19, peaking at 24. If you're out in East London, heavy rainfall today, 21, reaching a high of 24, and thunder showers for Craddock, 18, reaching a max of 28. Port Elizabeth, the friendly city, 20 and 24, with heavy rainfall for George. Rainy times, 19, reaching a high of 24, and times of sun and a bit of thunder showers out in Sutherland today, 13, reaching a high of 22. The mother city, Cape Town, 18, reaching a high of 27. And Worcester, you've got thunder showers expected today, 16. That's where you start off, peaking at 27. Springbok, 12 and 31. And you've got that northeasterly wind going on 20 kilometers per hour. That's for Uppington, 22, reaching a max of 30. And that's where we leave it for now. The next report in just over half an hour. No matter what the weather's looking like in your part of the country, make it a feel-good type of day.
All right, we are about to get to know our guest artist for today, a man that goes by the name of Shadley Skruder, who recently released a song titled Cape Town Kaapse Ding at the 2019 Cape Town Street Parade. Obviously, a huge event on the calendar to kick off the new year. But his latest mission is something pretty incredible, very noble. He is helping to raise funds, in fact, 200,000 Rand for one Abdul Hakim's operation. And we're here to just talk to him about that, and also about his budding career right now. But great to have you with us this morning, man, and Happy New Year to you.
Same to you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure to have us
And
here.
thanks for the coffee here. Really
It's really
coffee's
good.
good.
Thanks, Princess.
Sis Princess,
Yeah.
We'll tell her that later. No, but like back to you. You're hosting a show at the Belleville Theatre and you're trying to raise 200,000 Rand for 3-year-old Abdul Hakim's operation. How did the initiative come about?
Well, a couple of, about a month or two ago, I walked in, in a mall. I would actually mention the mall, which is Canal Walk. And I came across this young chap with his mom. And as we're talking, we exchanged contact details and things like that. Without knowing, I had his mom on Facebook. And I made contact with her, but without even speaking about with little Hakim. And we, asking her questions about how is he doing and whatever the case may be. And, she told me that he suffered a near drowning. That's the reason why, the way he is. And he needs to go for an operation in order to get his functionality back in order. So that's going to take place in June, the operation. Currently now, as we are speaking, they are in India. They left on Saturday morning. They went for the checkup for him, and they will be back on Thursday.
Oh, man.
In a couple of days to obviously, provide feedback and things like that. So there's a show that's currently that I'm putting together for him. That's taking place on the 6th of March at the Belleville Theatre. It's quite a sad thing. I'm not ready to meet him yet.
Wow.
As like physically, I just saw him and I walked away. That's it. It's quite difficult.
What was it about that moment, that interaction, the understanding of the situation that appealed to you as a person and made you go, well, I'm going to use my talent and try and help this family and help this little one to raise money for the operation that's needed?
Well, I'm always the one that's doing events, like fundraising events. People would contact me, Shadley, we need you to perform and whatever the case may be. But this time around, I'm doing it for someone. I'm doing it out of my own. I've made contacts with a lot of Cape Town artists, that's in the industry. For example, the first person to respond to my message at 3 o'clock in the morning was Yasin Barnes.
Wow.
To say that he's on board. And the beauty about this, that the entire artists, we have about 14 artists that's performing, including the band as well. They came at no cost.
That's huge.
And the mother, Tasneem, I spoke to her this morning just before I came here, and she told me that we need to give these people at least petrol money or something. Even though you're trying to raise 200K, we do know that Belleville Theatre takes only 750 people.
Yeah.
But her main aim is towards a funding for him to reach that 200K.
Absolutely, that's amazing. And for the fact that she's still wanting to give petrol money, even though you guys are trying to raise funds for her. But let's speak back to your talent. You were recently an opening act at the Cape Town Parade, or some people know as the parade. How was that? Take us through it. What is the highlight of that experience for you?
Well, it was last year I released the Cape Town Kaapse Ding that was written by myself and Clive Ritchway, produced by Clive Ritchway. And that song was, the main song for 2019. However, there is a new song that is currently out that was released on Saturday as well. And then
fresh.
I was
fresh.
Yeah, and then I was asked to be the opening act for the Cape Town Street Parade. It was tough. Because everything was on the last minute. Myself and the band rehearsed like 2 o'clock in the morning, like we did last night for this show.
Dedication, bro, dedication.
So, it was amazing, getting the people on their feet, and also, it's part of my culture as well.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I'm performing this Saturday as well for competition, which I'm doing the comic song at the Athlone Stadium for the Triple KR's competition. So, the Cape Town Street Parade is one of the biggest events that I could say that, to perform at it's so amazing, honestly. And thank you so much to obviously the organisers, especially at Peters, that got me on board to be part of this event.
Yeah, listen, we're wishing you all of the best with this massive show that you're going to be hosting to raise money at the Belleville Theatre. Just quickly give us details. Where can people buy tickets and support?
So obviously there's contact details, and that obviously you can contact myself or Tasneem. I will share that information with you guys. You guys can just pop it to the people. Yeah. And then obviously there will be radio interviews as well, so they must just stay tuned, and they can also check me out on Facebook. Yeah. And some more information. I finally got a page, guys.
Shadley Schroeder. Spelled
there we go.
S-C-H-R-O-E-D-E-R. All
there
right?
we go.
And we have the man, of course, with his band that are going to be performing live for us on this Tuesday morning. Cannot wait for all of that. Do not miss out. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back.
Apply for your American Express Gold or Platinum card and get 20% off your food bill, or a complimentary appetizer, or a free bottle of wine every time you use your card at participating taste restaurants around the country. Apply now at americanexpress.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Feel Good Tuesday morning. The second day we are back in 2020. So much is happening on the social media streets. We all know Twitter trends keeps us up to date with what is happening around the world and can immediately become popular overnight. The latest trend, hashtag 90 days without sugar, has South Africa motivated for the new year and pushing new goals. We've come across a couple of motivating ones, and you have some of the comments from social media.
But let me also just tell you that I started yesterday. I was just telling Kat about this. I started yesterday with 90 days without sugar. So,
how's it going so far?
Girl, I'm cold turking right now. All I want is waffles. But I'm drinking water, no sugar in my coffee. It's very difficult. But once I get home, then I'm just like busy with babaki. So then it's not too bad. But try it at home. A lot of people has been sending in and saying it's helping for them. So we found it from you. One of them was Mimi Modiba that said, I've avoided soda and juices, anything flavored, since 2018. Since then, I've averaged of 2 liters of water per day now, because it's a habit. When I try drink anything flavored, I can feel my body rejects it and it just wants water. So you do get used to it.
I can imagine that, but it's a lot of work to cut out sugar because your body's already used to it and addicted to it.
Yeah.
At the Baker_ZA said, you won't regret it, hey? Best decision I made in 2019. For years, I had failed to stay on top of my sugar and exercising. Committing to hashtag 90 days without sugar helped me cement a healthy lifestyle. And it's a very easy, well, not easy way, but a gentle way of introducing yourself to, you know, an easier, more balanced lifestyle.
Absolutely. And I'm actually doing the no carbs as well. So no bread, no pasta, no rice. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I don't know what. And I'm saying this live on TV so you guys can keep me accountable for it.
Yes.
So if you see me out of the streets eating sugar or pasta, just be like, Jamie, I watch you. I watch you. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Do we have more comments?
Yes, we do. Yes, Astaneo25 said, sugar cravings all gone. Started earlier than most of you, so now energy is shooting through the roof. Drink lots of water, guys. Don't give in to the cravings. In April, hashtag 90 days without sugar. Did I say that right, Kat?
And
the glow.
Get the glow. And also I like that hashtag, fetch your body 2020.
Yes.
We are about to, guys,
Yes.
in 2020, we are just slaying the
We are
game.
living in
No more
2020.
summers. We're just going to be just like, hello. Yeah,
And
just in there.
lastly, we have at Ekversania.
Wano.
Is that how you pronounce it?
No, Tanya. Ekvastanya. Oh, at
Yes.
Ekvastanya. Okay, she said.
yeah.
She said you can get energy from fat and ketones, and there's also a small amount of sugar in nuts and a fair amount in many vegetables. So you're still kind of getting a bit of sugar intake. Now there's quite a lot of it's in milk as well, so avoid lots of milk, and also avoid things like bread, which really convert to sugar. So hashtag 90 days without sugar. Can you actually do it? Let us know if you can actually do it. I started day 1 yesterday. Today is day 2. It is rough out here, people. It is rough out here. But I'm challenging you. Maybe I should challenge you.
Me?
Yeah?
Okay, I'm not doing no sugar, but I'm doing cut out. I'm cutting down.
That's good. Cut it down. We're going to fetch your body in 2020.
You just get that reaction when Jamie Lee says, I'm challenging you right now.
You're challenging me.
Anyway, health talk. It's a Tuesday. Now, as children, I think we all remember how our parents often made sure that we see the doctor for our annual medical checkup. But as we grow older, this sometimes slips our minds and we're too busy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But an annual yearly checkup is very, very important. It stays a healthy, stable of a good health regimen. And that's exactly why today we've got Dr. Ashley Peterson, who is a general practitioner and owner of Health Cross, here to tell us about what happens during a yearly checkup. We're going to talk about blood pressure, your iron levels, your sugar levels, and all the important stuff that you need to know. In fact, if you have any questions to ask regarding those things, please do let us know on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. Dr. Peterson, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, and to you.
Dr. Peterson, it can be quite daunting visiting a doctor for your annual checkup because you don't know what they're going to find, but it's important because you want to know what's there so that you can treat it if something is not right.
Yeah.
The first thing I've often found when I went in is that they do, or you do, a blood pressure check. What is the normal blood pressure, and why do you need to check this?
I think mainly the whole issue of prevention being better than cure is probably the main reason as to why we need this annual checkups. And you're right, I mean, blood pressure is one of those things that often goes by and we don't actually take notice of it. But it's basically, as I said, diabetes is a silent killer, so is blood pressure. And you need to know these things. So blood pressure basically is something that is normal. There's no real normal blood pressure. So we have a median that most of the population actually has, and that's 120/80. So where the top figure usually demonstrates your heart rate, the blood pressure when your heart is contracting, and the bottom number when your heart is at rest. So basically both are quite important, and both has the implications in terms of your health. But yeah, I think the general population would have a normal BP of 120/80.
Yeah. So what's regarded then as having high blood pressure, and what is the effect if you do have high blood pressure on your body?
Well, a high blood pressure should be classified as a diastolic of above 120.
Oh, wait, a what diastolic?
Sorry, the systolic above 120, and the diastolic above 90.
So
but like I said,
systolic is the upper
systolic
number?
is the upper number, diastolic is the lower number.
Okay.
Yes.
And so basically, but like I said, it all varies from person to person, basically.
Yes.
Because you can be walking around with a systolic of 130, for example, which might be normal for you.
Yes, yes.
So it's all about just finding yourself in which side of the bell you basically are.
Yeah. But then having high blood pressure, what effects can that have on your body?
Well, it can have quite devastating effects.
Yeah.
Well, first it affects your arteries. It affects your heart. It can affect your brain, can affect your nerves. So in terms of your arteries, they do cause damage to the inside of your arteries.
Wow.
And with the result, you can actually have deposits sit in the inside of your arteries or collect on the inside of your arteries, narrowing it even more. Which just exacerbates the whole problem again.
Okay.
And then also in terms of your aneurysms, which you've probably heard of as well.
Yeah.
Because if you have the increased blood pressure and you have the damage on the inside of your walls, the artery walls, you could have a weakening of the muscle and an outbowing of the actual artery and causing an aneurysm.
Well, that's scary.
It is quite scary. And it's things that people don't actually take note of all that often.
Well, you've brought your paraphernalia with you along here, and now that you've gone on about all those risks and the challenges that can come up, I want to get my blood pressure checked. Can we do that here now?
We may, of course.
You know, part of blood pressure test is that you need to relax. You gotta relax.
Okay,
You seem very stressed.
All right.
Going into your woosa right now. So this is what would happen if you were to go to the doctors.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely painless having a blood pressure test done.
Painless.
It is so painless. I can put this down
on me.
Hold that for me, please.
Breathe, Tabiso. Good.
So it will give a bit of a siren if it is a problem. Oh. So we'll be able to hear if there is a problem.
We do have medics standing by outside and an ambulance in case Tabzi needs.
And the doctor came in it. He drove it here.
Exactly. All right, let's show this to the camera so we can show the camera the goodies there. So what it's saying right now is Tabzi.
So
what are we seeing? It's 164.
Well, no, that's just how it's timing, so it's
calibrated. Okay, there you go, Doc.
We'll know soon enough.
Okay. Please focus on something else.
No sirens yet.
Look up at the roof and breathe normally, Tabzi.
I can hear the
No,
bells.
don't.
No, you shouldn't be.
Don't.
Shouldn't be hearing bells.
Look at me. Look at me.
Okay, so that's
everything all right. Yeah.
Okay, that is slightly loud, but I think this was the bells that he's hearing.
What is happening?
You're shaking right now.
Yeah, so that is slightly. I mean, it's quite high, 149 of 108. But I think this was you exciting yourself. So we should maybe repeat it in the next 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
When you're more relaxed. I don't know.
All right.
It usually happens when you are excited or when you're nervous. It's going to be actually.
I'll tell you this, Dr. Peterson. Tabzi's been working very, very hard at the gym.
Okay, gosh.
In fact, this morning he had like a 5-kilometer run and he did a weight session as well.
And when Kat was doing his morning push-ups that he usually does in front of me in the change room, I joined him this morning.
Wonderful. Okay.
So we'll do it again.
The break. But listen, throw those questions our way. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 is where you can find us on Facebook. It's Health Talk time. We're talking about the annual checkups that we all need to do, and myself included. I haven't done mine in quite some time, and so I'm so glad that the doctor is here to give us good advice on that. We'll see you on the other side of a short break.
Do it now.
Okay.
To be clear, that angels brought me.
It is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso live on SABC3. So I did put Kat to the challenge. Everyone is getting their tests done. Mine was at 149.
Can you see this?
Yours is at 120.
Can we get a close-up of this?
120. Doctor, you said 120 means what again?
Means pretty normal.
Pretty normal.
For lack of a better word, yeah.
Yeah, he's had enough time to relax.
That's quite good.
Get into it.
Yeah. Quite good.
Another word for normal would be healthy. That's the word that you would use on the streets, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Doctors.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic. Well done.
Appreciate
You've really done well this festive season, looking after you.
I have. I really have.
I like that for you. I like
drinking water and minding my business.
You're the guy. You're the guy. Well, it is Health Tuesday, and we're taking a look at that annual checkup that is so vital for all of us to do. As kids, we're reminded all the time. Our parents take us in, but of course, as adults, we do tend to sort of neglect it. And Dr. Peterson is here joining us. So, Dr. Peterson, now we're talking about blood pressure. Yes. Blood pressure. Let's talk about what is normal blood pressure and what causes high blood pressure.
Blood pressure.
Oh, that's what we spoke about.
Yeah, we're talking about that. So let's go with this. So now that you've had your high blood pressure test done, that's the first thing. What are the other tests that are done at your annual checkup?
Well, it would include your glucose levels, so your HGT as we call it, as well as your hemoglobin, which is usually we refer to an iron test, but it's basically a hemoglobin test, which is not really the same thing. And you have normal things like your female type of checkups and your male checkups, you know, like your testicular examinations, prostate examinations,
sugar levels as well.
Yeah, but sugar levels definitely.
Why is it important to check our sugar levels?
Well, it's known, diabetes is known as a silent killer, as I said earlier. So you would go on as if everything is perfectly fine, and you would have this high sugar level that you are basically sitting with and not be aware of it. And the one thing about it, for example, in cases of your heart attacks or your myocardial infarctions, it's the one thing that doesn't cause a chest pain. Your diabetes, so you wouldn't actually know you have a heart attack, and you're basically having it. So basically, it's good to have it checked beforehand. With the ever-increasing westernized diet as well, you have health patterns changing, and so it is quite important.
Yeah, and I guess that also gives you a good indication of your body's insulin production and absorption.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let's talk about the different classifications of sugar disturbances in your body.
Well, basically there are four. You have pre-diabetes, you have type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and your gestational diabetes. So your pre-diabetes is basically if you have high sugar levels, but it's not basically a full-on diabetes as yet. So you can still basically do some changes in terms of your lifestyle to prevent it from actually getting any worse. Type 1 is mainly seen in children, and that is when you have insulin, you don't have enough insulin that is produced. And type 2 is basically if you have the insulin there, but it's not working the way it should. And then your gestational diabetes basically is a diabetes found in pregnant women, which usually only lasts for the period of pregnancy, but can actually extend beyond that as well, and you can have a type 2 diabetes.
And Dr. Peterson, what are the effects of high sugar levels in the body?
Well, there's three main causes. It causes a retinopathy, I'll explain it to you right now. So a retinopathy, a neuropathy, and a nephropathy. So retinopathy basically affects your vision. So it damages the blood vessels in the actual retina. So it can actually cause blindness eventually, which in many cases it does. Your neuropathy is basically if you have, and it's mostly a peripheral neuropathy. So on the ends of your arm, your hands, and your feet, you start not feeling the sensation goes by the side. And your nephropathy, it affects your kidneys. So those are all the main basic effects. But also, you might have heard of the diabetic foot as well.
Yes.
Which is something, because you don't feel anything because of the neuropathy, you will step, if you're walking barefoot and you're diabetic and you step into a stone or something, you will not feel it, cause ulcer on the base of your foot, and that just basically can end up in gangrene.
Wow.
So that's just in basic layman's terms, that's basically what could happen.
And if my understanding is correct, I mean, once you've developed full-on diabetes, whether type 1 or type 2, it's one of those things that the condition can't be reversed, right? It's now about management of whether it's through insulin injection. So just to kind of emphasize the importance of having that checkup done, because you don't want to get to a stage where you were pre-diabetic and you could have done something about it, but now it's too late.
For sure.
How do you test for that?
Well, we do a finger prick test. That's the quickest way to detect whether you are diabetic or not. But there are formal tests as well they do. So actually having the blood drawn and all those things. And having something done which is called the HbA1c, which gives you a record as such of how the blood sugar has been over a couple of months. But for now, I think it's just the finger prick.
Okay.
You got the finger prick?
We have the finger prick.
I'm ready for that.
You're ready for that?
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Tabzi, you're up, man. I'm gonna just shift over this way. You can go over there. Tabzi's being the brave one here.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing: is that you don't want to only go in for these tests and finding these things out as soon as you see the symptoms where you suspect you might be in trouble, right? You want to make sure you just go on a regular, random day.
Absolutely.
Where you're feeling...
Well, that's the thing. So I think it's a misnomer, the annual checkup. You should actually have it checked as often as possible.
Okay.
So just because you feeling okay doesn't mean you don't have to have it checked.
Yeah. Which finger would you like?
I'll have that finger.
Which finger would you like? The little finger on my right. Are you squeamish when it comes to needles?
No, not
You
really.
sure?
Not this particular one.
But
Okay,
I think if it
you
was,
sure?
yeah, I'm better at.
You don't need like emotional support.
No. It makes me anxious when people give me support.
Okay,
like
look away.
that.
Look away. Don't. That's going to affect your results. Don't.
Not really.
All right. So a simple finger prick, then you press, and then so obviously that little stub that's attached to the machine, that's going to be the one. Ooh, fancy machine.
Just press that for me.
It's processing your
It
results.
speaks, eh?
It does
So
speak.
what are you expecting to see on that screen, Doctor?
Well, in this case, it's 4.8.
4.8.
Which is pretty okay. Have you eaten this morning, though?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I did have 2 cups of coffee.
Oh, you did? Okay. But usually you have various stages in your well, during the day that you have to have it checked. It's when you wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
before eating, after eating. So each reading will basically be different, but obviously within limits. So,
4.8, is that a good
4.8 it's okay.
Decent.
It's well, you haven't eaten yet, so we need to
Yeah.
eat something. But I mean, it's not something you need to go to the hospital for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so for now we've spoken about blood pressure, we've spoken about testing your sugar levels, and then when we come back, we'll be speaking to the doctor about checking your iron levels, or otherwise known as your hemoglobin test, which is part of what should be your annual health checkup, or as the doctor said, should be checked as often as possible because it can lead to certain health risks that are, in some cases, irreversible. But while you let that digest a little bit, let's take in a performance.
The performance is ready. Shadley Shooter is in studio. Now, you'll also be hosting an event at Belleville Theatre in aid of raising 200,000 for a little boy who needs this for an operation in June. But here he is with a sneak peek of Angels Brought Me Here. Take it away.
It's been a long and winding journey, but I'm finally here tonight. I'm picking up the pieces and walking back into the light, into the sunset of your glory, where my heart and future lies. There's nothing like that feeling when I look into your eyes. My dreams came true when I found you. I found you, my miracle. If you could see what I see, you're the answer to my prayers. Oh, and if you could feel the tenderness I feel, you would know it took me clear that angels brought me here. Standing here before you, things like I've been born again. Every breath is your love, every heartbeat speaks your name. My dreams came true when I found you, my miracle. If you could see what I see, you're the answer to my should be clear that angels brought me.
Angels definitely brought you here. You can catch him at the Belleville Theatre the 6th of March.
That's correct.
6th of March. But of course, we have so much more still planned for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you right back after this. You're the answer to my prayers. Oh my God.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Meat.
Cadmium.
Fleisch.
She got this.
Veg.
Gemüse.
Verduras.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is a Tuesday morning, and yes, we are in the month of January, which means many of us have New Year's resolutions and plans to become the best version of ourselves, to exercise more, to quit smoking, to detox, to be nicer to your mom-in-law, to eat healthier perhaps. And in the spirit of the new year and new me, new you kind of thing, a challenge has now emerged, and what we'd love to take on, and I think a lot of people trying this out as well, to be more plant-based or even completely vegan for the month of January. And so today, Brett Thompson, CEO of Ripe Africa, joins us in studio along with footballer and model Keegan Trosky, and they're here to tell us about Veganuary, a non-profit organization that encourages people worldwide to try a vegan diet for the month of January and hopefully beyond. Brett, Keegan, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Very good morning. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy 2020.
Happy Veganuary.
Yeah, there it is. You got it right.
So tell me a little bit more about Veganuary and why South Africa. We've just seen your very compelling television ad that sees many individuals trying to catch a piece of meat and just being grossed out and trust your instincts. Tell me about that.
Well, the ad that you just saw was the first time that's been actually played in Africa, in South Africa itself, so it's quite an exciting thing to have it on Expresso. That was launched at the end of last year in worldwide in the US, UK, and as well as Germany. So you might have seen a few languages there.
Yes.
So Veganuary, so I'm the campaign manager as well at Veganuary South Africa, and it's a worldwide campaign that was started in 2014 when a handful of people decided to go and pledge their support and become vegan for a month of Jan. And today, we're in the region for this month, reaching at nearly 400,000 people around the world pledging their support to go vegan for the month of Jan. And South Africa features in the top 10 of those.
That's amazing to hear that. And Keegan, you're here as the Veganuary ambassador.
That's right.
And you've taken on a plant-based life or a vegan life. Tell me about how this has benefited you, because, I mean, you're a person that uses quite a lot of energy, and a lot of times people think that if you're going to be eating just vegetables the entire time, then you're going to be this lackluster kind of person who always lacks energy kind of thing. But how has that lifestyle benefited?
I think it's completely the opposite. For me personally, like, I feel much more energized. I feel like I have more strength and more stamina. So it's benefited me a lot in terms of that. And I think for any athlete out there, there's 3 key factors, which is your nutrition and your training, and then your rest. And a plant-based diet really contributes to all 3 of those aspects.
Yeah.
I think,
what are if you were to break it down for us, Brett, the true benefits of doing or going veganuary?
Look, I think firstly it's a great way to start. So a lot of people find it quite daunting if changing their diet or their identity sometimes. And what we're saying is no, you don't have to do that. It's not an all or nothing thing. Try it for a month, see how it goes. You'll probably see some benefits. So clearly, the number one reason why South Africans are trying veganuary is from a health perspective. And you just had a gentleman earlier talking about blood pressure and a host of other things. Is that there's significant amounts of bodies around the world, health bodies, who are saying that eating a more plant-based diet has health benefits, and whether it's reduced chances of getting cancer, diabetes, stroke, and reducing your blood pressure. From a environmental point of view, it's a lot of people are looking around and seeing issues around the planet, and there's always environmental destruction and feeling helpless. Following a plant-based diet is a way that an individual can make a definite impact. It kind of makes a lot of sense what are the benefits for animals for eating a plant-based and vegan diet for just 1 month. So it results in a number of these things. It's a benefit for a number of these things, and it's a simple thing, and veganuary just makes it that easy to try it.
Yeah. Keegan, as somebody who has taken on the plant-based / vegan lifestyle, tell me about some of your favorite meals, and especially how you ensure that you get enough protein. Because that's also one of the big issues, right? Or
that's the biggest question.
Discussion. But like, you're eating plants, bro. Where's the protein?
But for me, I think, can we start with dessert?
We could always start
just a joke. But I think for me, like my number one breakfast, obviously, I would look at like oats with some almond nuts in there, slices of mango to spice it up, and also some soy milk is very high in protein as well. So I'm actually getting more protein than I ever had before. Through a plant-based diet.
And I think through one of the documentaries I watched, the issue of protein was also about the quality of protein that you're getting when you're eating meat products or animal products versus plant-based products that, your body processes the plant-based products a lot easier and quicker, and they infuse into your system a lot better. Is that true, or is that just something that, documentary makers just kind of spitball and they throw at you as facts, and you go, oh, and you're blown away, now you want to do it?
I think probably the movie, the documentary referencing is the Game Changer.
It is.
I get the protein question all the time and the Game Changers question. And look, there's obviously a documentary's got its own sort of agenda, and I think that one is a really, really well-researched one. And people have tried to debunk it, and there's been great responses to it. I think the best part about a plant-based diet is that it really cuts out, outside of what type of protein, it also cuts out a lot of the junk. So if you're eating a plant-based diet, you're going to be more focused on where you're getting your protein. And, you're missing out on the things such as processed meats, which the World Health Organization has said is carcinogenic. So I think that's the benefit. You can come into a debate on whether or not you're getting enough aminos, your acids, if it's a complete protein. But in a sense, if you're exclusively getting your protein from a plant-based version, with nuts, your seeds, and your grains, you're just going to be missing out on a whole bunch of junk that you might get eating a sort of average, typical diet, South African diet.
And that word carcinogenic, be very afraid. Quick little brief on the highlights of veganuary in South Africa. What can you expect maybe worldwide as well? Quick highlight.
Well, quick one is we've just got so many folks out there who are supporting it. It's just becoming easier and easier. You can find brands such as Fries and Good Hope soy milk, which is making it much, much easier. I think
my favorite product.
There we go. It just makes it so much easier. And then also, I just find you can go to any restaurant these days and you can get a great option. My favorite place, I go to Hudson's Burger Joint, which is just down the road from me in Cliff Street. You get a fat burger, and you can actually get it half price on a Monday. And that kind of stuff, it's just becoming easier and easier these days to go plant-based.
Excellent stuff. Well, thanks for bringing the news to us of veganuary, gentlemen, and hopefully the challenge has been put on your table and you'll take it on throughout the month with beautiful, healthy results going forward. But of course, on Thursday morning, we'll have Jasmine from Ripe Africa in our kitchen to share some delicious recipes that you can enjoy during the month of veganuary. You can check out the challenge on the website as well. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Well, the challenge is indeed set and it is on. It's the start of a brand new year. That means we're all challenging ourselves to a much healthier year, a much healthier lifestyle. That starts with knowing where you stand as far as your health status. And that means going for that annual checkup. In fact, as far as Dr. Peterson has said, you go as regularly and as often as you possibly can. It's now time for us to take a look at gender-specific tests, looking at what women specifically should be asking to test for when they do go in, as well as what men should specifically test for over and above what we've already looked at: high blood pressure, we've already looked at your sugar levels and all of that, those kind of tests. Dr. Peterson, once again, this is absolutely incredible that we're starting this conversation at this time of the year. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
What would be the next test to get into? Iron test, right? What is the main function of iron in your blood tests?
Well, iron are basically the oxygen carriers in your blood.
Okay.
So they basically attach to your red blood cells, and the oxygen itself attaches to your hemoglobin. So basically, without your iron, or with low iron, you're going to have your oxygen levels dropping quite substantially, and that obviously has effects on you in terms of your body systems and how you function, basically. Yeah.
And in terms of the annual test, so of course the iron test is one thing, but for women specifically, when they do go in for these checkups and these tests, what should women be looking out for specifically, and what would doctors typically check for in women?
Well, mainly we need to make sure that women's health is actually quite a big thing. It's been for the past couple of years. It cannot be understated, the importance of it. But basically to check for cervical screening, we'll do cervical screening and do your breast checks. Those are the two main things that women usually come for. They're quite important as well. So coming into your GP practice, women would want to have their breast check. They complain of feeling a lump. So doing a breast examination.
Pap smears.
And Pap smears itself as a cervical screening tool, cervical cancer screening tool, that is. So those are the two main tests that women actually request and that they basically need. There is a drive to do it every 10 years from 30 years old, so 30, 40 and 50. But basically it all depends on what your initial Pap smear result was or cervical smear result was. It will indicate whether you should have it repeated the next year or so, but all basically, as long as you have your first one, you can actually take it further from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then taking it over to the men's side, what test should they have regularly done as well?
Well, men should basically be checking for testicular cancer as well as for prostate cancer. Obviously, prostate cancer is more age-specific. So you find it in the older males, although it can happen in younger males. So basically having that check, testicular checks you can do yourself as a male, or if you aren't comfortable checking for yourself, you can have a GP do it for you. It is a very slow-growing tumor, testicular cancer, so it means it can go undetected for quite some time. So basically having it checked as often as possible is quite important.
You are saying that it's usually in the older generation, but I also read something, I think it was last week, where cancer is now becoming to the younger age.
Absolutely.
So at what age would you then say, like, start going?
I would start going from age 45, to be honest. I mean, for your prostate check. It doesn't mean because it happens mainly in older age groups that cannot happen to you as a younger person. Definitely can. So yeah, I would say 45 would be a good age to have it checked out. Yeah.
We have received quite a number of social media comments and questions which are coming through. I'm going to be asking some of those too. In fact, here's Gail, because Gail asked us, it's a long one. It says, "Good morning, my Expresso family. First things first, I must say Dr. Peterson is the best doc ever. We still miss him at our community health center where he used to work. Well done, Dr. Ash Peterson. Kiss face." I have a question for the good doc. A few years ago at this above community center, I was diagnosed with high cholesterol levels due to a persistent pain I got in my chest area. That was about 3 years ago. Now I get this burning pain in my feet. Whenever I sit down, my legs get numb, and my sugar levels were tested, and it's normal. Can this be nerve damage, and how do I ask for it to be tested? And people often don't know how to ask and what to say.
Look, that does seem as if it's more of a vascular problem, so your blood vessel problem. And because cholesterol itself will deposit on the inside of your arteries, causing narrowing of the arteries and causing your blood not to get to where it needs to be. And that's probably the main pain that she's experiencing. I doubt it is a neuropathy or a neurological problem. But once again, these things needs to be screened. So it's difficult to actually assess in the setup, but it needs to be screened. So if you need to have a check, it's probably best to go see a neurologist. neurologist.
Okay.
And I have a referral to a neurologist for that.
It's good that Gail has noted it and now she can do something
Do you remember
about
her?
I remember, yes.
That is wonderful. Well, you've done such good work clearly in the various communities that you work in, but today you've also helped so many people out there who are watching this show, who are going to now take the challenge on, but also me as well for the test that I've done. I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Know, you did say earlier that my blood pressure is a bit sketchy. Do you want to book me off? Maybe you can sign it.
I think I'll sign it after this.
But I would like to take some days off.
At least a couple of weeks of rest and relaxation.
How dare you? You just came back from vacation.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, while you think about going out and getting yourself checked, we're going to take a quick break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's a Tuesday morning, and thanks for joining us at the start of a brand new day. Now, every year, World Without Wine, a platform with a vision to inspire and support an alcohol-free lifestyle, encourages everyone to make a healthy start by giving up alcohol for 30 days. And this initiative, called the Dry January Challenge, raises funds for the incredible Earth Child Project. And World Without Wine founder Janet Gourand, as well as intern Courage Chilanga, join us this morning to share more. Great to have you with us. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you guys. I mean, Janet, 5 years of spreading, awareness about sobriety and moderation is an accomplishment.
Thank you.
How does World Without Wine and Dry January continue to grow?
Well, we're building communities. We run regular workshops. We've done 42 now, so we've had 600 people come through our workshops. 44% of those have stopped drinking.
Wow.
We also have a subscription membership program, so we have a digital community, a physical community. I get quite a lot of press, actually. People are quite interested in me because I don't drink, so I'm so exceptional. For South Africa, so unusual. So I get press, and I'm on the radio quite often. And the Sober Curious trend, I mean, this is the thing. If you do hashtag Sober Curious, you'll find so much.
Catchy, very catchy.
The young people, they're beginning to ask themselves, what would my life look like without alcohol?
Yeah.
And they are sober curious. They don't really have a problem, like I used to have, but they're wondering, do they really need this stuff in their life?
Yeah.
So it's all coming together. It's a bit of a trend, like the vegan thing.
And to great effect as well, in the sense that last year you raised nearly 60,000 rand, I understand,
record,
for the Earth Child Project. Tell us a little bit about the Earth Child Project, Courage, and why it is that this particular campaign continues to support them.
So the Earth Child has been there for, I think, the past 15 years, and what makes it cool is that, they help the children with yoga and life skills.
Yeah.
But what is more important is the fact that, when the children are doing the yoga, they're at peace. They feel good. They escape that, pressure from the society. There is a lot of gangsterism and a lot of crime that is happening in the society. And apart from that, also, the Earth Child Project helps the children to be more confident, to know about their healthy lifestyle, and they do all these activities like they go for hiking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And what is more important, why we choose the Earth Child project, is the impact that it has. So it's not only affecting the children, but what happens is that when they're taught all these life skills, they go and impact it to their families and the friends in the community. So it's creating, you know, hopeful leaders and actually global citizens of the future.
Excellent.
I absolutely love both initiatives. Janet, how do then these proceeds help Earth Child, you know? And how are you planning on exceeding your target this year in 2020?
Okay, well, first question, Earth Child. Multiple questions there. Earth Child is an NGO, and like any NGO, they have expenses. You know, they have yoga teachers to pay, they have equipment, they help the kids with clothes sometimes, you know, and food. And we trust these guys. We work with them for 5 years. We often go out, you know, to Kalicha, to Lavender Hill. We go to the classes, and we believe in them. And last time I was there, a little boy said to me, you know, this yoga class is the only time that I dare to close my eyes. And I found that so heartbreaking. Because, you know, he couldn't do that in his normal life. He couldn't close his eyes. He couldn't breathe. So we just feel enormously committed to what they do and helping them.
Yeah.
Now, the second question was, how do you encourage more people?
Well, let's talk about how you want to exceed the target. I mean, you did 60,000. Yeah, 60,000. So what's the target for this year, and how are you going to beat?
Well, we would love to beat last year's, or at least match it. Currently, we've got 33,000.
Excellent.
So that's enough for, what's that, about 130 children.
Yeah.
We want a class of 200. So we're, you know, coming on wonderful shows like this. There's our yoga class.
Oh, lovely.
Coming on shows like this is awesome, so thank you so much for having us. And we're raising funds through our community. We invest in Facebook ads, you know, all the time, so that brings quite a lot in. So we'll get there. We're determined.
There are so many reasons that one could highlight about why people should participate and support this campaign. But for you personally, what are those chief reasons, and how do we end up supporting what you do?
Well, as I said, you know, we just love the guys and we believe in them. And we also believe in the health benefits of not drinking. Yeah. Because I've personally experienced them, the people in our community have experienced them. And the physical health benefits are huge.
Yeah.
You know, the health, just to mention a few, we have better sleep, and the liver stiffness reduces. You know, we've been listening to cholesterol, things like that. Blood pressure will reduce. And, of course, the weight. You know, one can lose that festive, you know, bit of weight within a month, because it's no good being vegan and doing all this dieting stuff if you're still drinking. Because alcohol actually stops the fat-burning process, because your body recognises alcohol as a toxin and it just wants to get rid of that alcohol. So all the energy goes there, you know, and there's nothing left to burn up that food you've been eating.
So many good reasons to get involved, and all it takes is about 250 Rand to provide a child with yoga and life skills lessons for an entire year, right? You probably would have spent that on 3 cocktails anyway.
Exactly.
So just, ditch the cocktails and rather support this great initiative. And you can sign up for the Dry January Challenge by heading over to worldwithoutwine.com for all of the information. Courage and Janet, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck for the campaign. Here's to exceeding that target.
Yes.
Challenge accepted. And now we take a final look at the news across the globe. All eyes are on the national results for the matric class of 2019, which will be announced today, while individual results will be available at schools tomorrow. This after the Council for Quality Assurance in Education approved the 2019 matric examination results for release. Over 600,000 full-time learners and more than 100,000 part-time candidates set for the examinations, which is 40,000 fewer than the previous year. All SABC African language stations, including Lotus and SAFM, as well as SABC 1 and SABC News channels, will broadcast the results from 6 p.m. The Minister of Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation, Lindiwe Sisulu, says the severe drought in the Eastern Cape needs urgent government intervention. Sisulu visited the province with her deputy David Mahlobo yesterday to assess the situation, which she said had deteriorated. The two held meetings with Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane in an attempt to try and find solutions to overcome dire water shortages. Sisulu travelled to some of the area's worst hit areas such as Butterworth, Makanda and Pedi, which she said taps had literally run dry. In international news, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says troops have been deployed in Libya after the Turkish parliament approved the move last week. He said their mission was to ensure stability for the UN-backed government of the National Accord in Tripoli. The Libyan government is fighting an insurgency by rebel forces under General Khalifa Haftar. Haftar is backed by Egypt and the UAE, while the UN-backed government is supported by Turkey and Qatar. Haftar earlier said that a national war was now being fueled by Turkey's president, whom he referred to as a deranged Turkish sultan. Huge crowds yesterday morning packed the streets of the Iranian capital, Tehran, for the funeral of Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani was assassinated in a U.S. drone strike in Iraq on Friday on the orders of President Donald Trump. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, led prayers and vowed severe revenge for the death of Soleimani. On Sunday, he pulled out of the 2015 nuclear accord. Trump repeated a threat to target Iranian cultural sites, saying the U.S. would strike very fast and very hard if Tehran attacked U.S. assets. And finally, the Harbin International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival in China held its opening ceremony this weekend amid fireworks and celebrations. And it's again a dazzling, spectacular event. The annual festival is one of the largest ice and snow festivals in the world. A mind-boggling 220,000 cubic meters of ice and snow were used to build the ice world. Visitors are treated to a towering frozen ice palace and even an ice steam train. And apart from gigantic ice structures, the festival includes activities such as sledging, ice hockey, ice football, speed skating, and alpine skiing competitions. A highlight of the festival was a snow-themed group wedding ceremony in which some 40 couples were married this year. And should you wish to attend, you can do so until the 25th of February. And that's where we leave it for this morning. Here's Kat with a final look at your sports.
Yes, and in the latest sporting headlines, the Proteas have set up an exciting final day of the second test against England at the Newlands Cricket Ground after the visitors declared on 391 for 8. South Africa now require 312 runs to win from 90 overs. Now, the hosts lost 2 wickets and ended the day on 126 runs, with Peter Malan reaching 63 not out. And the final day of the second test between South Africa and England will continue from 10 a.m. this morning. Meanwhile, reigning PSL champions Mamelodi Sundowns will look to extend their unbeaten run in the competition when they take on Bidvest Wits at Loftus Versfeld this evening. Sundowns currently sit in second place in the standings, only 4 points behind leaders Kaizer Chiefs. Other PSL fixtures this evening will see Polokwane City host Orlando Pirates and Stellenbosch FC take on Bloemfontein Celtic, and all 3 matches will kick off at 7:30 this evening. In other football news, Arsenal claimed a 1-0 win over Leeds United in the third round of the FA Cup at the Emirates Stadium last night. Leeds failed to find the equaliser after Arsenal forward Reece Nelson hit the back of the net in the 57th minute to secure the win for the team. Now, the Gunners have now progressed to the 4th round of the competition. And finally, Kevin Anderson and Lloyd Harris helped South Africa to a first win at the inaugural ATP Cup in Brisbane, Australia yesterday. Anderson, who has been out with injury, took part in his first tournament after 7 months and powered past Christian Garin from Chile 6-love, 6-3. The 22-year-old Harris beat Chile's Nicolas Jarry 6-4, 6-4. And to them we say a very big congratulations. Well, that was the last look at the sporting headlines, and now let's take a look at the roads.
It's 5 minutes past 8. It's time for the final look at the roads this morning. We're starting off in KwaZulu-Natal, Clearwood. There's a stationary vehicle on the N2 southbound before Solomon Mahlangu Drive. The left lane is blocked. Please approach this area with caution. The Western Cape Newlands Campground Road is closed to traffic in both directions because Palmra Road and Marildal Road is... But yeah, this is due to the cricket test match at Newlands Stadium. Please use alternative routes today. And lastly, Metro Rail Central Line, the train service between Cape Town and Chris Hani remains suspended indefinitely due to extensive vandalism. It is advised to use an alternative mode of transport this morning. That's your final 8 o'clock traffic roundup. Right now it's time for the weather.
Don't ruin the moment. Prevent allergies or cold and flu with fast-acting powder nasal spray from the Nexa range. Nexa, brought to you by Pharma Dynamics.
You are still tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast show, and of course, it's the final look at your weather. Now, we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures, so thank you so much to our regular photographer, Ntokozo Makatini, for your sunrise from Johannesburg, and as well as Samuel Jacobs for your amazing sunrise from Beaufort West, as well as James Turner for your sunrise from Durban, and then lastly, Jean Smith for your spectacular sunrise from Brakpan. Let's take a look at the rest of the country, starting off in Polokwane with a low of 16 and a high of 30 degrees. High humidity can also be expected for Umbumbela, ranging from 18 to 31 degrees. If you're out in Pretoria, you have a low of 20 and a high of 30. A northeasterly wind of 13 kilometers can be expected for you, Johannesburg, with a low of 18 and a high of 28. If you're out in the Mahikeng area, it is ranging from 20 to 31 degrees. Klerksdorp, 20-29. Thunderstorms can also be expected for Kimberley with a low of 19 and a high of 25. In Bloemfontein, 17-26. The highest temperature in the country can actually be found in Richards Bay, surprisingly, with a low of 22, peaking at 34 degrees. So you might want to put on some sunblock today. If you're out in Pietermaritzburg, it's a low of 20 and a high of 29. Durban, 24-29. And a couple of showers for Mthatha, ranging from 19 to 24 degrees. Heavy rainfall can be expected for East London with a low of 21 and a high of 24. Craddock, 18-28. And if you're out in Port Elizabeth, the Friendly City, it is 20-24. Now, heavy rainfall can be expected for George with a low of 19 and a high of 24. Sutherland, 13-22. If you're out in the mother city, 18-27 is your temperature for today. And thunderstorms can also be expected in Worcester with a low of 16 and a high of 27. Now, the lowest temperature in the country can be found in Springbok with an all-low of 12 and a high of 31. A northeasterly wind of 20 kilometers per hour for Uppington with a low of 22 and a high of 30. Now, you can still keep it locked onto your Feel Good Breakfast show. It is the 7th of January. Make it count.
Don't ruin the moment. Prevent allergies or cold and flu with fast-acting powder nasal spray from the Nexa range. Nexa. Brought to you by Pharmadynamics.
Imagine we're asking for a cup of coffee from Princess, and just as your cappuccino arrives, she sneezes like that.
Luckily, that's not going to be happening, Princess. Thank you very much.
She's always there, always on top of it. Listen, the festive season was all about, kicking back and relaxing. Did you get up to watching movies like I did? Because I spent most of my time just watching the movies.
Actually, yeah, I did watch one that JP spoke about last year, which was 21 Bridges.
Oh, yeah.
With Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, yeah?
So, from Wakanda. Man, he's so good.
Yeah,
he's so good. He plays this cop in New York City that's like trying to bust a criminal syndicate in like 5 hours. It all takes place in one night. But he's a great character player, and he's really invested in it. You got to check it out. What did you watch?
He's solid. I watched Two Popes.
The Two Popes, yeah.
Hopkins, yeah. It's really, really awesome. Really, really awesome.
So, Princess, did you watch any movies?
After watching it, I thought I want to be a pope.
Would you like to be a pope?
Just for that day after watching it, I wanted to.
Why?
Be a pope. I don't know. I like the outfits. The nice gowns. Hey? No? Okay. Princess, did you watch any movies?
Okay. Yes, I did. Mr. Bone.
Mr. Bones!
That's a classic.
Wait, I just want to get back to your
need for that.
What would your Pope name be? Because Pope gets to choose a name.
Only the highest grade Arabica beans. McAfee, great coffee, simple. See you after the break.
Huwag ka na sila'y firu Gumagumagumaguwe o kan o xiao lai firu. Gumagu gumagu o kan o xiao lai firu. Gumagumagumaguwe o kan o xiao lai firu. Da kum di Alibaba ay kum udisi. Da kum di Alibaba ay.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso Morning Show, live on SABC3. We're nearing the end of the show, the third and final hour of the show. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You are getting your daily dose of feel-good. But right now, it's time for us to get our daily dose of what JP Sebastian's looking forward to in as far as the movies are concerned. Last year was a good year with movies, lots and lots of blockbusters. But of course, we've had previews, JP Sebastian, that you've given us last year of movies coming out only this year.
Yeah.
And it's time for us now to take a look at the movies that you are most looking forward to seeing. JP's most anticipated.
Stuff that I'm so excited for, maybe not as bad as last year's Captive State, which I was super excited for.
And then it was a letdown.
And then just trashed at the box office. So hopefully I'm not going to jinx these as well.
Do better, JP.
Yes, I think
so what are you looking forward to seeing?
The first would be Birds of Prey. Margot Robbie, I think. So you saw Suicide Squad?
Yes, I did.
What was the best part about that whole thing?
Margot Robbie?
Exactly.
Yes.
Otherwise, I mean, even Will Smith obviously survives, but the movie as a whole was...
obviously survives.
They made a clone of him after, you know, in Gemini Man, which had its own problems. But Birds of Prey, I'm super excited for. It looks like... the way you've had a couple of these superhero movies now, like say Logan, or you've had recently The Joker, that obviously won at the Golden Globes a couple of times. Try to do a take that's not just what are we going to do, gang? Put in our stretchy pants and then fight the meteorite or the big purple dude kind of thing. It's trying to do very much its own kind of style to it. There's a bunch of neon bright colors. I'm happy to see that come back in superhero movies. Not everything has to be like dread and grays and blacks and browns and that kind of stuff. Like. And that's fine, and it's got its place. But when you realize that the stuff was made from bright, exuberant, energetic comics, stuff where still images had to like pop to life. It looks like they've definitely remembered that is the origin of superhero movies in the hands of the director Kathy Yan. What also is going to be quite special about it is that it's all told from the perspective of Margot Robbie's character, Harley Quinn, who you're looking at there. And she is notoriously a character who has no attention span, and so has to keep being dragged back to the main narrative. Keeps winding off and like telling other stories and stuff like that. So hopefully that enters into the creative process as well. Like not just linear, not just solve
captivating. And
have you seen I, Tonya?
No, I haven't.
One where she plays Tonya Harding. I love, and I have so much high hopes for Margot Robbie because of the kind of work at the blood, sweat, and tears that she puts into stuff. Really, like going back to the way, say, Charlize Theron embodied Monster. She's one of these actresses who embodies head to toe.
She really draws you in. When can we expect this out here in SA?
That is February 7th.
Oh, February the 7th. Okay, cool. The next one. Mulan.
Super excited. I'll let you actually do more of the talking about this anyway.
No. You do the talking. You're looking forward to
hail for this movie. Just like, and at some point, Mr. Director, you can feel free to just play the music and just turn it up to 11 and then turn me down to like 0 and just let the music blare because moving trailer. I welled up just watching this, just because of the production design as well. We've just had Aladdin, which was
like a bit of a whatever. Oops.
Yes, more like a doormat than flying carpet. And then you had Beauty and the Beast, which was also like, okay, you finished the movie, you did it, but a lot of people were worried about how one-to-one it is with the original. This, however, Mulan looks like, and I've said this like 3 times in the past, they've realized that Chinese epics like Hero or House of Flying Daggers or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon made it to the Oscars, and Disney have given to Nikki Caro, the director, this opportunity to, I think, just go with one of the biggest budgets of all time and say, you know what, maybe we could go for Oscar glory as well.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be as tepid as Aladdin was, man.
But also just based on the trailer alone, it's quite refreshing to see a film, even though we know that there's quite a bit of computer-generated visuals in there, that doesn't feel too overwhelming in that sense. It still feels like the action comes from the characters and the people. The costumes bring it to life.
All that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I love that.
So obviously from the tradition of a lot of Chinese films, the fighting would involve wire work, not necessarily, ooh, how do we synthesize Tabiso to actually look muscular because he skipped gym day so much. Like, sorry.
But not me. Obviously, you're not talking about me because I'm at the gym all the time.
CG Tabiso, of course, yes. This is just an apparition in front of you. Tabiso is at the gym as we speak. This is a very impressive double. Super impressive. But Mulan, man, so excited. Seriously, guys, just go watch the trailer and then don't let me cry alone at this. I'm a grown man. I shouldn't be crying alone.
Yeah, don't cry on me now. You still got one more to tell me about. When does Mulan come out? 27th of March?
Yes, thank you very much.
That's the date. Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Excellent. Bill and Ted get their third adventure 30 years later.
Love it.
This is just a quick honorable mention. I don't have any trailer footage to show you because obviously that stuff is still tight under wraps and still in pre-production. Keanu Reeves, if anything good is happening to this man, I think the whole world is happy, so there is still hope. Never mind climate change, never mind international wars. Maybe if we're treating Keanu Reeves good, the world is good. Probably not. Bill and Ted Face the Music. There's no date for it in SA just yet, but Alex Winter, shame, the dude who we thought fell off the map completely. No, actually has been doing very good documentaries in the meantime. But this is 29 years later that the team reunites. This is before Dumb and Dumber, before Wayne's World, even before Dude, Where's My Car, the original Idiots. I love Bill and Ted.
And they're facing the music this time around.
I'm super excited for
Well, there's not much information about it yet, but hopefully when that does come out, you will be back here on this seat telling us all about it. It's no SA release date yet. But
there's nothing too brainy about Bill and Ted. There's nothing I can flesh out for you.
Not yet, at least. Not yet, at least. But listen, these are all the movies that JP Sebastian is looking forward to seeing in the year 2020. He'll be back with another installment of movies to look forward to in the brand new year. Kat is here with the music.
Please be good.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. And equally exciting right here on our floor is, of course, Mr. Shadley Scruder, an artist who is on the rise right now, doing amazing things, really pouring his heart into his music to also help the community out there. And he's about to give us another sterling performance. Here he is with a Guma medley.
Gumagu, huwag siya lay firu. Gumagu, oh, kanon siya lay firu. Gumagu, huwag siya lay firu. Gumagu, oh, kanon siya lay firu. Diriko je zomaar, diriko je zomaar gemaakt om daarop te slapen. Diriko je zomaar, diriko je zomaar gemaakt om daarop te slapen. Die Alibaba, como puede ser? Die Alibaba, como puede ser? Boro, Tani, in Baristani, no. Tani het gaan wat te houden, daar ohne baby flame. Haar rookje was een kleine sketje en die jongman keek daarna. Die jongman vraagt met haar tevreden, verschaam het ze ja. Zolang als een liedje en die waterlee en die waterlee en die waterlee. Zolang als een liedje en die waterlee, bloemetjes zaten mee. Eentje op ik kom aan Nicky, ik zie na op een bekje, bloemetjes zaten mee. Eentje op ik kom aan Nicky, ik zie na op een bekje, bloemetjes zaten mee. kana kina tina tina ho. Hey. Tina kana kina tina tina ho. Kana 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 kina tina tina ho. Kana 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 kina tina tina ho. Tina kana kina tina tina ho. Tina kana kina tina tina ho. Guma 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 fantasera, sera fanta guma guma fantasera. Guma 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 fantasera, sera fanta guma. Tina ho.
Hey! What, man? Shanley Scooter doing the things on your Feel Good Breakfast show with the Guma medley. Make sure to catch him live in concert. It's going to be at the Belleville Theatre,
That's
right?
correct, yeah.
What's the date of the concert?
6th of March 2020 at the Belleville Theatre. Show starts at 8:30.
And it's for a fantastic cause. You're raising money to help a little one for their operation, man. So really, really amazing stuff. Great to have you here. Looking forward to one more performance. Thanks very much to the band. Listen, we're about to go to the ad break. Take us to the ad break with that Laka Guma beat. Can you do that? 1, 2, 3.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Yes.
I'm just still vibing. I'm vibing to that Guma beat that we have. Just
Oh no, that was a vibe, eh? Literally putting us in the mood for like January, you know, feeling the vibes. But let's get into the entertainment news because I know there's so much you want to tell us about.
Of course, yesterday was a very big day in terms of the entertainment world calendar with the 77th Golden Globes hosted by the one and only Ricky Gervais. Apparently his opening monologue was absolutely savage. I haven't seen it yet. But anyway, they took place in the early hours of Monday morning and JP managed to burn the midnight oil to bring us the winners in certain categories. Now, one winning speech in particular stood out for us, and that was Michelle Williams, who took home the best performance by an actress in a limited series or television movie award at the 2020 Golden Globes. Now, Michelle won this for her titular role as actress and dancer Gwen Verdon in FX's Fosse Verdon. Now, the 39-year-old went on to deliver what some are calling the very biggest and best speech of the night, in which she thanked the team behind her hit show, as well as the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, before delivering a fantastic monologue about a woman's right to choose. Take a look at this.
To choose when to have my children and with whom,
when I felt supported and able to balance our lives, knowing, as all mothers know, that the scales must and will tip towards our children. Now, I know my choices might look different than yours, but thank God, or whomever you pray to, that we live in a country founded on the principle that I am free to live by my faith and you are free to live by yours. So women 18 to 118, when it is time to vote, please do so in your own self-interest. It's what men have been doing for years. It's what men have been doing for years, which is why the world looks so much like them. But don't forget, we are the largest voting body in this country. Let's make it look more like us. Tommy and Matilda, I can't wait to come home to you.
Oh, wow.
Powerful words. Absolutely profound.
And to use a platform like that and then just bring the fire, that's amazing. You know?
I'm always kind of stunned with awe at the ability of some of these stars, and we've seen many of them use a moment like this to deliver a truly moving and tangible message, and not just stand there and it's cool to go, oh, I worked so hard to do this, and to the creators of this and this. It's an actual moment, because you've got the whole world watching you, and to actually say something that moves people to action, especially in something as important as voting, and holding leaders accountable, because a lot of the speeches that were given were very political in a sense, where these stars took the platform to say, I'm not just going to stand here and embrace the moment of glamour, but this is a moment for me to say something that could influence the people that follow me. And it's such an important thing to be able to realize the power that you have in moments like this. And equally on a platform like we have on Expresso, yes, it's entertainment TV and it's great and it's live, but we also have a responsibility to our viewers to use it to the best of our ability to shape the world into what we'd like to see it in the future. But yeah, that was one of the best moments of the evening of the Golden Globes. I'm sure there will be highlights rolling everywhere. But of course, right now, to take a look at some of the most anticipated movies of 2020, who better than JP Sebastian to give us the scoop?
The guy.
Oh, absolutely no one better than JP Sebastian to give us the scoop on all movies. Last year was a big one as far as movies are concerned. Lots and lots of blockbusters that we talked about throughout the year. But now it's time for us to take a look at 2020 and what that has in store for us. JP, Wendy.
Wendy, indeed, is a movie that I don't always have to talk sometimes about, every movie's got a $200 million budget or something like that. Wendy is a tiny, teeny little indie art house movie. And it's the second movie by director Ben Zeitlin, who, this dude, for his first movie at age 30, got 4 Oscar nominations, Beasts of the Southern Wild. He also, from Beasts of the Southern Wild, got the actress, you must remember this weird name, a lot of people, it was on the tips of their tongues for a long time, Quavejene Wallace, because she was nominated at the age of 9, youngest nominee ever. This is the caliber of director that we're dealing with. This time around, he's doing something that, again, involves kids, and kids from an impoverished background. Thank you, more of this as uplift. So many movies are like so bougie. It's got like, oh, this person's a university lecturer and they're going through depression. And yes, depression, everyone gets depression or whatever. But let's talk about people who are broke as well. And so Peter Pan, retold from Wendy's perspective, she is the Pan-type character in the situation. And all these kids are on this island. I don't know for sure if there's any kind of magic necessarily involved. I think we're about to see this, though. Yes, I think.
Wait and see.
Yes, there definitely is magic and fantasy involved, but mostly it's just the raw emotion that somehow this guy gets out of young
children.
How? You watch someone like the guy like Joaquin Phoenix just won the Golden Globe for drawing from a deep well of a lifelong kind of pain that he's had from losing siblings and stuff like that. And he gets little ones who, by the way, have no background in professional acting, none of the actors that you're looking at now, and still manages to pull out. Maybe he'll get another 9-year-old to get an Oscar nomination. We'll see.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. Wendy, when does that come out? 13th of March.
Thank you very much for reading that for me. My memory failed me.
That's it.
The 13th of March. Please, people support the tiny movies as well. Look at that. Oh, man.
Because you know what, sometimes it's really not just about the big movies that you see on all the billboards as you drive through town. It's not about those.
And that we all feel obliged to be able to talk about. Everyone must know if Thanos wears boxers or briefs, like down to the finest detail.
This is where some magical stories get told. It's the little movies go out and support movies like Wendy. A Quiet Place Part 2 is another one on your list.
Big, gigantic movies now. A Quiet Place Part 1 was the most cardio I've done in whichever year it came out.
Why were you doing cardio?
Just out of fear, out of just like being taught at all times. The glutes were ready to run.
Okay.
A Quiet Place was so good. John Krasinski was the director, the actor from The Office, Jim. Who everyone knows from The American Office, and also obviously appeared in that. And his co-star is his wife. Although you'd never want to call Emily Blunt co-star, she is clearly the center of the galaxy in any movie she's in. Watch the scene, by the way. Keep your eyes on the screen, Tubby. So intense. I should have checked who the cinematographer is of this, but clearly they've taken some inspiration from movies like Children of Men. Look at this chase scene. This is the characters realizing that an invasion is happening. I think that the people in the there you go. No. No. So, again, I'm going to be taught in all of my tendons. Just wait for the bus, Kat. You're getting ahead of yourself. Eventually, they run into trouble. If our editor at least kept that scene in, here we go.
Whoa. Is this when you start doing the cardio?
You're just... And I'm sitting dead still, but everything is taut and tense and ready to go. This trailer that just came out like 5 days ago doesn't reveal, although you saw at least enough of the alien there, it doesn't talk about the alien threat itself. Now they're moving on from the previous movie where calamity has befallen the family. I can't tell you what happened.
Yeah,
you can probably guess from the... If I told you that the guy was in the previous one and they're not walking around with the guy, you could guess something probably happened to the guy.
So this is good enough for someone who hasn't seen part 1 as well to see and still be as captured.
Okay,
yes,
so part 1 at least, there's an alien invasion and they never go into like the gemors of what is the alien's background, what is their attack type, is their blood acidic and whatever. So part 1 you can watch unprepared. Maybe then for the same reason part 2 will also be like just fine for anyone who's not in the loop. Because it is just situational horror. The situation here being, of course, is that they found human beings who are like these survivalist types who don't believe in outsiders. Hey, sounds familiar, America? And the bad guy then appears to be humans at the start. Obviously, as they release more trailers, we'll learn more about the aliens having their bad guy part 2.
Of course, Emily Blunt there really just leading it.
Knocking it out of the park in anything she is.
Yeah. Okay, so this is out on the 27th of March. So if you are into this type of film, this is one to check out on the 27th of March. It's out. Your final one that you're looking forward to in 2020 as we wrap up your list, JP Sebastian, is Run. This is from director Anish Jaganti.
Jaganti, yes. Another nobody. Speaking of Ben Zeitlin earlier from Wendy, and why this guy's a nobody, and maybe South Africans didn't see it enough, didn't support it enough. Please go look for a movie called Searching, was his first one. Has the dude from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle in it. I've forgotten that actor's name now. But such a clever, such an intelligent movie, all told from the perspective of like a selfie cam, and done not in a way that is just like a useless kind of gimmick. Excellent. Searching was. Run, on the other hand, will be his second movie that I'm super excited for. Looks like it deals with what's called Munchausen by proxy syndrome.
Ooh, okay.
It's a weird psychological term I remember from my childhood, which is when a parent is secretly poisoning their kid, I think, to keep them in
a state that they want to keep them.
In a state of constant need. So you've got a character who's differently able there who has to deal with learning deep, dark secrets about her own household. I'm mostly super
And it's not jarring to see this entire film told in the form of like, or the point of view of like a selfie camera.
So that's the previous one I'm talking about.
Not going to give you a headache?
That's the previous one I'm talking about. You go watch it for yourself.
Okay.
Honestly, one of the most clever things that everyone overlooked in 2018.
Oh, wow. Sarah Paulson is in there, Kiera Allen, as well as Luke Gross. So you don't know some of the character names or the actors' names, but it's definitely worth checking out as far as JP is concerned. This is a roundup of all the movies of 2020 that you need to be checking out. But is there any order of preference in terms of all the movies you've given me?
How much can you trust trailers as well? Like, it's all up in the air for now.
I see. Well, let us know which movies have caught your attention on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Which ones of the 6 movies we've looked at that JP Sebastian's given us are you going to be checking out? Please.
Interesting stuff. Lots of movies to look forward to, but personally I'm hoping that there'll be a lot more South African movies that come out. South African stories with producers and directors and actors. I want to really like try and support as much local stuff as I can. Like
possible.
Stuff like Sow the Winter to My Skin, Five Fingers for
It's
Marseille.
Hansel and Gretel that's coming out.
Hansel and Gretel?
Yes.
South African version?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a South African version. I just saw it online though. But I'm hoping it's.
I was about to say, Hansel and Gretel was not a South African story.
But I'm hoping it's going to be like Hansel and Gretel.
So you're looking forward to watching that?
No, I'm looking forward to Bad Boys. Bad Boys 2 is coming out, so that is yes.
Apparently, Martin Lawrence is looking, you know.
What? Looking what?
Aged.
Aged.
Yeah, like heavy.
Aww.
Yeah.
Heavily aged.
He doesn't look like Martin Lawrence from the previous Bad Boys. He's like, bad boy, you know.
Bad boy. What you gonna do?
What about you, Gutle?
I'm looking forward to A Quiet Place #2, but also the photograph featuring Isire and that guy from Get Out. Something Stanfield. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
It's going to be very interesting.
All right.
But it's like romance and stuff. That's what I do.
Oh, you do rom-coms and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, cool stuff. Okay, you let us know. Expresso Morning Show SABC 3. That's where you can find us on Facebook. We'll be right back after a short break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on SABC 3. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. We're getting into the year, deep into the world of movies, and we're looking at 2020's most anticipated films, according to our resident movie critic, JP Sebastian. Welcome back. I thought we were done, but I thought, you've got more movies. You've got more movies to talk about. Tenet.
Yes, this is Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
The guy who obviously did Batman, The Dark Knight,
You
Dark
love
Knight
him.
Rises. I do. He, like for me, he's not one of these people who can dig too much into the human experience and human emotions. I think he's quite a mechanistic guy, but he's such an impressive director for being able to form an economy of camera people, editors, sound engineers, etc., and make all of that work on a production that this one, by the way, Tenet is rumored to be $250 million cost.
Big one, then.
And obviously that's going to overrun because they're still in production for that thing. That is John David Washington you're looking at there, Katlejo. Yes. From
Robert Pattinson is there as well.
Black Klansman. Robert Pattinson is having a great comeback.
Yeah.
I know that cameraman Steve just saw The Lighthouse. He's throwing 2 thumbs up at Robert Pattinson. Good for him. Tenet, Christopher Nolan. There's no use me trying to explain this to you at all because Christopher Nolan is the guy who did Inception, and the trailer makes no effort to try and be helpful in explaining what the story is about. It feels a lot like watching all of the hype to Death Stranding, the video game, but
You see the intensity, though.
Also rumored to be in a similar universe to Inception, because again, it deals with bending time and jumping into different worlds and stuff like that, but not directly similar to Inception. I tell you what, though, after watching this trailer, I did at midnight last night. By 1 a.m., I was watching YouTube videos about quantum physics and tachyon anti-telephones. You can go look that up for yourself. It has to do with particles that can travel backwards in time.
Is that a theme that features quite prominently in this?
These are just my personal theories. Because it's one of these,
on the trailer.
One of these trailers that make you go, ooh, now I've got to go, figure it out kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously the movie itself will also leave you probably hanging for a lot of things, the way Inception did for a lot of people too. They were all like, oh, what does it mean? What does life means? And then they got into philosophical debates with their friends at 3 a.m. Yeah. This one might do the same. The characters look like John David Washington's this type of agent who has this ability to, and this word is a big fancy quantum physics word that I used earlier, tachyons. These things are able to, we've seen a lot of time travel movies where the present impacts the future, but tachyons are these weird particles that are able to impact the past, which necessarily impacts the future you're in. So he says that of those bullet holes you're looking at there, he's like, what we're looking at hasn't happened yet.
Oh, wow.
So, I think
you have to be present and have to think when you watch a movie like this.
But it will also just be like roller coaster fun, because that's also another thing you can tell from the trailer that makes it quite promising, is there's not a lot of the word used earlier, which concerns a lot of people these days. It's not overly CG. There's not so much computer graphics kind of thing. So where does all of that hundreds of millions of dollars go? Into probably really impressive stunts like we saw in Batman with the plane that was taking down the other plane, whatever. It's going to be insane, I'm sure.
But I mean, if you are into international espionage, they say, time travel and evolution, this is the movie you need to be checking out. Top Gun Maverick is your second one of this batch of movies.
Another movie that I really don't want to like. Well, who cares about story when it comes to Top Gun? It was just
you got Tom Cruise there,
topless boys playing volleyball, high-fiving each other, slapping birds, being man's men. A movie that was actually written basically by the United States Air Force. I don't know what the involvement is in this one, but
are you serious or are you being?
I'm being serious.
Oh.
No, like, do a lot of people not know this? The Pentagon and the CIA financed 1,600 movies since the 1960s. That's a story for another day.
Wow.
Actually have involvement in the creative process. It's all propaganda for imperialism. Anyway, that's a story. No, for real. Even Avengers, the United States, like the Department of Defense, gave money to and told the Avengers what they can and can't have in their scripts.
But what happens in this movie then?
So in this movie, Tom Cruise is the best of the best, and he returns to coach a new class of fighter pilots who are like, we're all hotshots. We don't, oh wait, Hotshots, that's another movie, that's Charlie Sheen. They're all a bunch of newcomers who think they don't need to take lessons from the old man, but obviously the old man is pulling stunts on them like this. Look at the screen, Tabiso, look at that. That's all real. Again, no computer graphics. Tom Cruise is a mad person. Has no one told him about computer graphics? You don't have to kill yourself in every movie you make. Top Gun Maverick was supposed to come out in June of this year. Yeah. But he then insisted on performing stunts that were so insane and death-defying that the movie was delayed by another year for safety reasons.
So when is it out? Next year?
I can't
July the 3rd of next year. If it's delayed by a year, are you saying that it was meant to come out last year, 2019?
It was supposed to be out in 2019.
Oh, salvation.
Tom Cruise is such a mad person. I have so much respect for the kind of blood, sweat, and tears he puts into stuff. All the stuff you're seeing is them actually flying. Guys, go watch the behind the scenes of this. Unbelievable. Miles Teller is a dude who we just knew from Whiplash for drumming. We thought he was impressive enough for learning how to bash 2 sticks. He actually is in the cockpit of a fighter plane. They put 6 IMAX cameras inside the cockpit. How is Tom Cruise seen past 6 gigantic cameras? So you're getting 6 angles. One of his face up here, one of the whole face, one of the left wing, one of the right wing, etc., etc., etc. They've got a studio inside a tiny cockpit, which a dude really needs to be able to look over and like try and stay
still
safe.
Perform. Insane. Okay, 3rd of July, that's coming out. Okay, so your final one is Dune. This one comes out on the 18th of December this year. This is going to be a roundup of the year 2020 and hopefully leaves us all excited.
I see fists in the air by some people because they're obviously gigantic Dune fans around here. It's obviously a series of books that was super popular. I think that was before Star Wars. Can I get a yes? Yes, that was all for... So it's one of these universes that informed a lot of what people got used to in Star Wars, the inspiration of the Star Wars universe. Dune is being done here by a director named Denis Villeneuve, who is one of my favorite alive.
He did the Blade Runner.
Blade Runner 2049, and that's another old series that he was able to pick up from its past in the 80s and just breathe new life into in some of the most astounding visuals that we've ever seen in cinema history. So expect the same of Dune, which has Timothée Chalamet in it. Everyone's
it's a big star-studded cast. Rebecca Ferguson is in there.
There's also Dave Bautista, who I love dearly. The dude's actually quite dynamic. He's not just a pro wrestler. And Denis Villeneuve, trust this director. Anything in his hands that he makes is going to
Dave Bautista?
Dave Bautista will surprise you. He was in Blade Runner 2049, and he does so well in that. Really, and he didn't even have to be in, like, you know, neon thong, throwing John Cena.
Leotard.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Let's use a professional term.
The 18th
Dune.
of December, Dune, that's coming out. Okay, so this is just the perfect note to leave your list of movies to look out for in the year 2020.
That's fine.
And again, no special preference or no special mentions, all of them.
And I might be totally wrong.
Look out for. He might be totally wrong about every single one of them, but it's all about what you think, and maybe you can let us know. Weigh in on Facebook, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Kat, are you cooking there with Kutle?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily call
Creamier taste and bigger fruit pieces. Fruits of the Forest yogurt is made with love by Clover.
And as I continue speaking, as I was over that thing that you just watched. No, I'm not cooking, but it is breakfast time, which is a great time to develop a routine for the family. And it doesn't always have to be boring, especially for the little ones out there. So we're going to be inspiring you right now to try your hand at making your own homemade frosted cereal. And if you're like me, it harps you back to way back in the day as a kid when you were eating frosted cereals. And then, of course, you can combine them with the fruits of the forest yogurt-based dairy snack, which makes it extra delicious. And Kutle is actually going to be showing us how to make this because she's got the recipe low down pat. She's got it. She's ready for this. You can SMS the keyword Clover to 33728. We'll send you a list of the ingredients as well as a link to the recipe so you can make your own. And then hopefully yours looks something like this.
I'll try to get mine to look something like that. What I enjoy about this is that the ingredients are actually very simple, very few. All you need is honey. Then you need your sugar. Then you need your glucose syrup and 2 tablespoons of water.
That does sound pretty simple.
It's very, very simple.
Okay.
And of course, your cereal is very optional. We were actually having a chat about it earlier on. I mean, like Rice Krispies, not really a good idea because it will soak up all.
Yeah, the little air pockets in Rice Krispies would soak up the liquid very quickly and then it would go all smudgy. You don't want that. You want them to be nice and frosty and crispy. Okay, so we've got some literally bran flakes over here. So anything that resembles this kind of thing, you could use.
Absolutely. So now I'm just putting my sugar in the pot.
Yep.
Then we're doing the syrup, the glucose syrup. Oh, it's actually quite thick.
Yes.
It's quite thick, okay? And then finally, 2
It reminds me of that. What did you guys call it? You know, like Emakaine.
Upota.
No. Is it called that?
No.
We call it boreku, like on a thorn tree. The sap that comes out of the thorn tree that you would like. Kids would eat sometimes. What do you guys call it?
I have no idea what we call it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Cool, so you're going to be working your magic there in the pot with the heat on. And
is the heat on? Wait, hold up. Okay. Wait, just imagine the heat is on, okay, everybody?
Just imagine.
All you have to do is stir until you get to the right consistency.
Yep.
You have to allow it to boil for about 8 to 10 minutes.
Excellent.
And it will turn out like this.
Do not touch the pot there, you will burn.
It's hot.
It's very hot, so you got to be careful because you're working with sugar and honey and stuff. So that kind of burn that, like when it falls on you, it can stick to your hand and then and then you pull it off and then
Oh, don't say that. So be very careful, okay?
Just pre-warning.
Yes.
All right, what do you do now?
It's been boiling for about 8 to 10 minutes now. All we have to do, Kat, is just pour. Okay, would you like to help me, please?
Yes, I can. Would you like? Okay, I'll hold this. Okay.
And then I'll stir this while you pour.
Lord. I was so close. All right, so I'm gonna pour, and you're gonna turn.
Yes.
So you want to just turn and lift, turn and lift. Don't
From the
try.
bottom.
Yeah, try not to overwork it because otherwise it smashes the flakes.
Yes.
And then you end up with blobs, and you don't want that. Are you good?
Already, it's becoming so sticky.
Yes, that's what you want. Turn and lift, turn and lift. I'm going to go with the rest of it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So SMS the keyword Clover to 33728. I'm going to stop right now.
Yeah.
With just that much left.
I think this is perfect. It's actually quite sticky here.
Yeah.
So it actually becomes very difficult to turn and lift as you are stirring and trying to mix it with all the honey. But yeah, this is how it is, and we have to allow it to cool for a bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Just make sure it all gets a little bit of the fun. That. Here we go. So let it cool. Oh, it's steaming out of the bowl.
Yeah, it's hot.
Then it's going to look like that once it's done. And you can, of course, or decant it into a little glass jar like that you can then take for lunches, for picnics, or whatever you like. And then we're pairing it up with this lovely Fruits of the Forest yogurt-based dairy snack. And they come in various flavors. As you can see, we've got a cereal one over here. There's another one of the cereal that has strawberry and cranberry as well, a general fruit cocktail. So it makes for a great companion with these frosted flakes as well once you've made it. So SMS the keyword Clover to 33728. Would you like to taste? I know that you said you're not doing the no.
I'm not doing the no sugar thing. I'm just cutting down on a little bit of sugar.
Cool.
But if you are also cutting down on some sugar, you can use, as I've mentioned, more syrup instead of the sugar itself.
Yeah.
But you have to cook it a little bit longer because the honey takes forever to caramelize. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
So
scientifical minded, Kutle Adams.
Let me go into.
Never heard of a TV bite, eh? That's that.
Not here.
How is it?
It's very delicious.
Yeah. crunchy at all the right places. Good stuff. SMS the keyword clover to 33728 and voila, breakfast is a served.
Creamier taste and bigger fruit pieces. Fruits of the Forest yogurt is made with love by Clover.
Well, the feel-good is flowing all the way through here on your feel-good breakfast show this beautiful Tuesday morning. Shadley Schroeder has been in the house, just giving us all sorts of feel-good vibes. All of this for a good cause. A performance happening on the 6th of March. Is that correct? This is at Belleville Theatre. You need to go check it out, support him. And, of course, the details are available on his social media handle, which is...
Shadley Schroeder.
Shadley Schroeder. So listen, the Klopse, when you think freedom, when you think heritage, when you think culture, when you think festivity, that comes to mind. When you think me as well, right? So you're going to show us a few moves that are very signature to the Klopse, right?
It's quite difficult, though, eh?
Is that because there's so many of them?
Yeah, there's a lot. But you know what? I think what we should do, maybe the band can play one of the anthems of one of the teams. Let's do the All-Star anthem, guys.
Okay, All-Star, perfect.
I feel like you must be the voorloper.
You be the voorloper.
Okay, I'll be the...
Yeah, be the voorloper.
Yeah. Right, so, legs open.
Yeah.
On the toes.
Yeah.
And you go like, ah. There we go. Right. So, All-Star anthem, here we go.
Okay, band, we're good. Let's go. Hey, hey, hey.
It's a Cape Town thing. Ooh la la la, this a Amsterdam. Ooh la la la, it's a Cape Town thing. Ooh la la la, this a Amsterdam. So here is everybody standing in the streets, waiting to hear the Klopse beat. And people come together, let's all unite. We celebrate our heritage. Tonight's the night. It's glitz and glamours and umbrellas too. The gays and the hats are so colorful. Different.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, it is indeed, and it is a Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us and keeping abreast of things on social media. We've been enjoying some of the comments that you threw at us because earlier on, at the start of the show, in fact, we showed you this particular photo and asked you to use your creativity. Allow your creative juices to flow and caption it for us. Caption this.
The comments. I'm really keen to hear what people are thinking and say.
Michelle Robenheimer said, "Good morning, Express family." Caption, "Cabbage gang. It's January." Yes. Cabbage gang, all right.
Literally.
Pam Solomon says, "The three cabbage shredders."
Okay,
Sounds like the title to a movie that JP might give 3 popcorns to.
Yeah, or 2. Or none.
3 little pigs.
Do you have any more there?
But cabbage shredders.
3 little pigs.
Well, it's
Is that what it says?
No.
She just made that one up there.
Mornay Smith says, really? This small cabbage must be January.
Yeah, you know it's January when the
cabbage is even small.
Wow.
Yeah, everything goes small in size.
Moses
the rations. Moses Mokena says, when you're ready for 2020 and January is like, are you sure, my dear?
Like you were so ready, 2020 is good. And then January is like, hello. Fetch your life.
Oh, man. Anita Batman says, surviving January, basically relating to what you guys are saying.
Surviving January.
Lizelle King says, to January or not. And Clint Folkvane says, cabbage crew, lol. I think Moses is the winner of this one.
Yeah.
Because we were all
Moses
ready for
McKenna, I like that, yeah.
And then January came up on us, behind us. Yo, that's an ugly January face.
Cometh
But also
the
you,
season,
Kat,
cometh
what
the
were you
cabbage.
thinking there at the back? What was going on?
We've just spoken about the different ways in which you can enjoy cabbage over over this period of economical struggle.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I took the cabbage and I was bouncing it around and then I heard the camera clicking and so I was like, hello.
Ah, Cat, the cabbage creeper. Gotta love
Cat the cabbage creeper. I love it. I think he's the winner, actually.
Why are you gonna be like,
oh, I'm just saying. Well, listen, we still want to see. We'll be reading these comments throughout the morning on Facebook, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Caption that image of Cat creeping right behind the two ladies celebrating their January with
cabbage creeper
the tiniest cabbage money
like
can
this.
buy.
What's wrong?
I like to cabbage or not to cabbage. That was my one, guys. I don't know about you. But of course, you're still in the building with Shady on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And you're about to do an original called Cape Something Kaapse Dinge. Bring je gees, bring je garra. Doen it live for ons, your last performance. Are you ready? Away!
Here we go, guys.
It's a Cape something. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. Oh la la la, it's a Cape something. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. So here is everybody standing in the streets, waiting to hear the Klopse beats. People come together, let's all unite. We celebrate our heritage. Tonight's the night. It's glitz and glamours and umbrellas too. The gears and the hats are so colorful. Ding voor op jol to the rhythm of the beat. Das mensen wat schreeuw to the Gumma beat. Oh la la la, it's a Cape something. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. Oh la la la, it's a Cape something. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. Saatjes speel ik aan me, Buddha, Ahmad's in the band. Any mamas, any babies, they clap their hands. They play cheap blast, slap the tambourine. Tell your family and friends, it's a Cape Town thing. Oh la la la, it's a Cape Town thing. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. Oh la la la, it's a Cape Town thing. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. It's a Cape Town thing, just a Kaapse Dinge. It's a Cape Town thing, just a Kaapse Dinge. It's a Cape Town thing, just a Kaapse Dinge. It's a Cape Town thing, just a Kaapse Dinge. It's a Cape Town thing, just a Kaapse Dinge. It's a Cape Town thing, just a Kaapse Dinge. It's a Cape Town thing, just a Kaapse Dinge. It's a Cape Town thing, just a Kaapse Dinge. Ik kan mezelf niet help nie. Kom eens wat het zelf weer. Jy is die mooiste vir my. Ek wil jou nie vergeet nie. Moet my hart nie breek nie. Sê asseblief wees nie vir my. Oh la la la, it's a Cape something. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. Oh la la la, it's a Cape something. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. Hey, it's a Cape thing, this a Kaapse Dinge. 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 Oh la la la, it's a Cape something. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge. Oh la la la, it's a Cape something. Oh la la la, this a Kaapse Dinge.
Fresh off, just released on Saturday. It is original Kaapse Dinge Cape Town thing, live and in charge. It's lekker, man. It's lekker to be lekker when you're lekker.
And on that Expresso thing, let's say goodbye. See you tomorrow. Make someone smile. Bye.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.